Hello everybody, Flamin' Shark, we're back. It's time for episode 15 of Fate Stay Night. Last time we had our longest video of the series, and one of the just longest videos I've made in a long time, period, on YouTube. It was a well over 4-hour video, which was a bit much even for a Fate episode, but you guys see I've been trying to kind of do like one day, and that was a long fucking day. So hopefully this day's a bit shorter. I wouldn't mind if this is an episode's a bit on the shorter side, just given how fucking insanely long the last one was, but whatever the case may be, I'm excited, I'm down for it. There was a lot that we covered in the last episode. It was a very busy day. We ended it talking to Kotomine and, you know, getting some more just, confirmations about things. We learned about how Saber's kind of almost like trapped in time, so to speak, with this weird kind of loop where she keeps getting pulled into Holy Grail Wars to try and achieve the goal of obtaining the Holy Grail before she dies, which is a whole like really cool kind of like thing that just, you know, adds another layer to her character. We met the Golden Boy, whoever the fuck this is. I know some of the people in the comments, I think, were referring to him as the Golden Boy, so if I knew that, that might have actually been the title of my, the part, but I'm very curious to find out who the fuck that is. They seem incredibly OP, and I'm very curious how we're gonna deal with him, if we even are, and yeah, there's a lot of sauce. I mean, he's an archer, but again, that doesn't necessarily tell us a lot, because there are potatoes that we already know can be several classes. That's come up with Heracles, but I'd still imagine that you'd have to somewhat fit into the class to be an archer, so really isn't helping me with who I think that could be, but I guess we'll find out in time. Regardless, that's really cool, and I'm really excited to just jump back into Fate. There was so much that happened in the last episode, I've not even gotten into all of that. There was some nonsense at home, we met Castor died, like, literally our entire journey with Castor in this route began and concluded in this episode. So, that's a fucking thing that happened. We'll obviously expect to get more of her in either Unlimited Blade Works, Heaven's Feel, or both. I imagine different people will get different degrees of focus depending on which route we're on. Because at this point, I think I'm like 99% sure that they are just different tellings of the story, which is honestly really interesting to me, because I find that like really interesting that because obviously I know that there's, for the anime adaptations of this series, there are their own sections, which I actually thought Unlimited Blade Works was longer than it was. It actually isn't as long as I thought it was, but you have, like, the Fate stuff, then you have the UBW stuff, and then you have the Heaven's Feel stuff. It is kind of interesting, though, how each route was kind of individually adapted like that. And I don't know how else you would necessarily do it. I haven't even gotten to the others to really be able to note how different they are. I imagine they're damn near completely different stories. But yeah, I mean, I'm very curious where we're going to go from here, because we are on day 14. Well, chapter 14. It's like day 15, really, but whatever. I guess we're out of the prologue anyways. We've been out of the prologue for X amount of days. So, whatever. The point is, this is chapter 14, whatever, Moonlight, February 14th. Or Moonlight 1. So, Moonlight 2 probably next time, if we even get through the whole thing. Oh, no, Joreeman this time. So, before I realize it, it's morning already.
情けない。結局一睡もできなかった。
I stopped the alarm clock with a sigh. Today is my date with Saber, no matter what she says. Yes, he did decide come the end of the day that I'm going to take her on a date, and Rin laughed at him. This actually should be really fun, actually. I didn't even bring that up. There's so much that happened in the last episode. I'm going to go take her to places she hasn't been and play around, and the most important thing is for her to enjoy herself. I hope this is a chill episode, too. Because last episode was insane, and I hope this doesn't get, like, derailed by some bullshit. I was trying to use the knowledge I don't have to come up with. I was trying to use the knowledge I don't have to come up with a plan for the day, but I was trying to use the knowledge I don't have to come up with a plan for the day. Okay. But the alarm clock went off before I noticed the time. I set the alarm clock just in case. I couldn't come up with any good plans last night, so I borrowed it from Tosaka, thinking I might take a long time to come up with a plan. It was useless in the end.
考えてみれば、俺デートなんてしたことなかったっけ?
Trust me, I'm sure Saber will appreciate it. Even if she might not want to actually participate, she will absolutely appreciate whatever efforts you put into it. Like, I don't know how she'll express it or not express it, but like deep down, I think she'll appreciate it. I sigh again. That's the problem. Even more shocking than the fact that I couldn't get any sleep is the fact that I couldn't come up with any plan that might make a girl happy, even though I thought about it all night.
こうなったら出たとこ勝負だ。手当たり次第連れ回して、あいつに楽しみってやつを思い知らせてやる。
If we go to cute-looking stores, she's bound to have fun. Well, I think the plan has some weak points, but I've made up my mind, so that's what I'm going to do. It's not like I have any other ideas, so I'm going to entertain her today until she gives up. Sure, mate. Why not?
では、イリアスフィールはまだ目を覚ましていないのですか?
She's in that big sleep.
ええ、まだ眠ったままよ。あの様子なら目を覚ますのにもうしばらくかかりそうだけど、今日はそれが幸いしたわね。
Yeah, Ilya would be furious if she found out that Saber and Shiro are going out on a date.
イリア、起きてればシローの後について回って邪魔してただろうし。
Especially given what he's trying to do.
そうですね。今までのようにシローに同行されてはたまらない。
I like the slight little blush there as Saber says it.
昨夜はああなってしまいましたが、今日からは本気で残るマスターを探すのです。シローにはイリアスフィールに構っている余裕はありません。
ああ、そっちの邪魔じゃないんだけど。まあいいか。
Yeah, Tosaka's got the insider information.
私が言っても仕方ないし、これはシローとセイバーの問題だし。
I love how evil Rin is. Man, I am literally just Rin in this story. Like, she is my spirit animal. Tosaka tries to hide her laughter. More of like a snarky snicker is what I would refer to it as.
は? 私とシローの問題ですか?
Oh yeah. Saber's expression questions me. We're done eating breakfast, so this is a good time. Saber is ready to go and search for masters, but I have willpower as well. This is gonna be so funny. I just need to come out with it like a man. Oh my god. Saber, will you go on a date with me?
そのことだけどな、セイバー。今日は隣町に出るから、支度があるなら今のうちに済ませておいてくれ。
マスター探しですか? それでしたら隣町ではなく、郊外の方が確実だと思いますが。
I love the fucking background. She's like a bit behind. She's just enjoying every last second of this. Holy fuck, Rin.
そんなんじゃない。二人で遊びに行くんだから、郊外になんて言っても仕方がないだろう。
Saber's about to be like, what the fuck are you on about?
は?
Saber freezes. I'll really have to get back at the person behind her who's trying not to laugh.
シロー、それはどういう意味でしょうか? 遊びに行くとはシローとリンではなく、
俺が行くんだから、ついてくるのはセイバー以外いないだろう。登坂はうちでイリアの面倒を見てもらうから関係ない。
I can't wait for the plot twist where Rin wakes up Ilya, tells her what's going on, and says, hey, how about the two of us stalk her? And it's like some and it's like the fucking Freds are like stalking the main guy and like the main girl going on the date or whatever. Classic fucking anime shit.
何をバカな。私とシロが隣町を探索したところで成果は薄い。そのようなことをしても意味がない。一体何をしようというのですか、あなたは。
He's trying to get a second taste. Saber complains directly. This is what I expected, but the future looks troublesome as she still thinks we're going to town to look for the master, even after I told her clearly. Yeah, you weren't clear enough for Saber. You gotta outright say, I'm taking you on a date, bitch. Follow me, and I'm your master. I will use a command spell if you refuse.
参った。ここまで言ってもわからないんだな、セイバーは。要するに、俺はデートしようって言ってるんだけど、どうかな。
There you go. I ask, ignoring Tosaka's stare. I could never ignore Tosaka's stare. I don't think I could ever ask out a woman in front of Tosaka because I'd be too busy thinking about asking Tosaka out on a date. I don't know how much she understands. I mean, don't get me wrong, Saber is an awesome girl, but she's not my king.
そのような言い方ではわかりません。具体的な内容を提示してくれませんか、シロ。
Bro. She asks even less happily. That flips a switch with me. Oh my god, Shiro rant mode, let's go. It seems like caring for her has the opposite effect when it comes to things like this. It seems it would be to both our benefits to state it clearly. I mean, how much clearer can you state it? I want to put my penis inside your vagina. Like, what the fuck, bro? Which isn't even what he necessarily wants to do, but he also does probably want to, if that makes sense.
シロ、町に出るというのなら従いますが、デートをしようとはどういうことなのか説明してください。
Does she literally not know what a date is? Like, unironically?
いくらこの時代に慣れていると言っても、
Oh!
私にも知らない単語はあります。
Oh, she
あま
really
り専門
doesn't.
的な略語は使わないでほしい。
Oh, that's actually funny. She unironically does not know what the term date does. Courting. Courtship.
別に専門的な単語じゃないぞ。知らないなら教えてやるけど、デートってのは女の子と遊びに行くって意味だ。
Oh, that makes it sound so fucking weird. I would have said it's like courtship. Although, maybe he doesn't want it to sound that, like, romantic in nature. Because a date doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. But, like, that's how I would explain it to Saber. Would be like courting.
は？
Saber freezes.
女の子とは私のことを言っているのでしょうか。
She murmurs, still astonished. Courtship. She'll understand that. When I nod, Saber frowns even more unhappily.
言葉の意味は分かりましたが、意図が全く分かりません。そんなことをする理由は何ですか？
This is where it gets tricky because I don't know how well you're gonna get her to accept this. Her reaction is unexpected. No, it's not. Come on, you know Saber better than that, Shiro. We've been here for God knows how many hours. The intention of a date is obvious, but I'm a bit hesitant to tell Saber straight on.
ああ、もうそんならしくない単語を使うから勘違いさせるのよ。デートなんて言わずにもっと分かりやすい言葉で説明すればいいのに。
I mean, I don't know about simpler terms, but like I said, courtship, she'd understand that. Tosaka interrupts as if unable to ignore us.
いいセイバー。デートってのはね、要するに相引きのことなの。
I guess?
シロは遊びに行くって言うけど、つまるところ男の子が好きな女の子にアピールするチャンスってわけ。
Are none of you gonna use the word courtship? There we go! I cough. Tosaka's right, but I think a date and a rendezvous are vastly different. Yeah, rendezvous weirdly kind of has like a sneaky late night like sexual undertone, like you're rendezvousing in some weird fucking shed in your mortal enemies soon to become friends lands and you're with your girl and your like best friend who's also a girl and bisexual, and shit gets kind of weird. But I shouldn't interrupt. It seems Saber finally understands what a date is.
そういうことだ、セイバー。今日一日は戦わないで街に行く。そもそも昼間は人目につくから戦えないだろう。ならどう過ごしてもいいはずだ。
I really love the facial expressions in this game. Like the hard blushing Saber one where she's just collapsing onto her hands onto one another is just adorable. And Rin has all the best faces, of course.
それはそうですが、しかしあまりに意味がありません。そのようなことをしてもシローには何ら得るものがないのではありませんか。
Don't look at my pants.
そんなことはないけど、別にそうでも構わないぞ。
Aw.
今日はセイバーのために使うって決めたんだから、俺のことは気にするな。
That's just not who Saber is. She's too much like you, Shiro.
とにかく今日は絶対に街に行く。こればっかりは何を言われても変えないからな、セイバー。
Non-consensual dating time. I stare straight on at Saber. After thinking with a serious face for a while, she reluctantly agreed, I assume.
では、私が反対した場合でも、シローは一人で街に出ると。
Yeah, you can't actually, outside of literally using a command spell, you can't really force her.
ああ、絶対に行く。そうでなきゃ、一晩考え抜いたのがバカみたいだ。
それでは、私が付き添わないわけにはいきません。サーバントとして、マスターを一人にすることはできないのですから。
Good job, Saber. I see what you did there. With a deep sigh, Saber answers in her usual manner. That was like her most Saber-ish way of accepting. So don't think too much about it, Shiro. I get really angry about her following me because she's my servant. Yeah, I figured that'd be your reaction, but you're clearly not smart enough to think about it, to just accept the W. But I managed to succeed in getting Saber out. There you go. So I just have to take Saber to places without thinking too much about it. Sure. Here we go. It's date time, ladies and gentlemen, boys. Okay. Shut the fuck up, Bryn. I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, we're playing a visual novel. We're actually going on a date. This is like classic dating sim visual novel 101 bullshit. I don't even want to know how many hours I've played at this point of this game, but we're finally actually just taking someone on a date straight up. That's pretty based. I gestured to Tosaka to go to hell, and she makes fun of me right to the end, and we go outside.
それで、具体的にはこれからどうするのですか、シロー。
どうするって、とりあえず隣町に出る。交差点からバスが出てるから、それに乗っていこう。
Alright. It's funny, it's December where I live, or it's December now, obviously. I'm recording this Tuesday morning, so a couple days before this video goes out, and it's, I feel like the weather is very similar where I live right now in December and here in February, although I guess it's a little bright. There hasn't been a lot of sun lately, but it's still, like, I don't know. It's just kind of funny. It's crazy because I know that I started this game a year ago when I played a few episodes and then didn't actually play anymore for a long time because it was like Christmas Eve or Christmas that I started of 2021, and now we're in December of 2022, so it's kind of crazy. But like I said, I only played a few episodes and then stopped for a long time before picking the game back up, of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of the Let's Play, of course. The road is awfully quiet. It's past 9 on a weekday. The town is starting to come alive, but it must be a bit too early for people to start going anywhere. Yeah, it's 8:27 a.m., so it's almost the exact same time. It's close to the same time here for me. There's no one out on the road, and it's like we have the place to ourselves.
そういえば、学校休むのに抵抗がなくなってるな。ここのところずっと家にこもってたし。
That's a good point, actually.
当然でしょう。 シロはマスターなのですから、おいそれと出歩く方がおかしいのです。
That's also fair. She replies sharply. She's walking behind me as usual, but it feels different today. To put it nice, I feel pressure from behind me. Ooh, Saber gonna manifest a dick and give you a little revenge sex? Anyway, Saber is going to be harder to handle today. Oh, come on, Fate. You're just making it too easy for me. Yeah, if you guys aren't into me making stupid jokes, this is literally... Christ, that bus sound effect was loud. I'm gonna be making dumb jokes this entire episode. We're on a date, for fuck's sake. We get on the bus. It would have been full of people an hour ago, but there aren't many people using it at this time yet because everyone's already at work or school or whatever. The only people on the bus are an old lady and a kid, so it's like we have this place to ourselves.
Saber, 一番後ろに座ろう。
I call out to Saber, about to sit right at the front and sit at the back end of the bus. Yo, that's kind of a trippy, transparent effect, and that's just gorgeous. Wow. The lighting, it just really making her look nice. Let's just leave it at that. Saber watches the passing scenery silently. Looking at her, I realize how crazy I'm being right now. The bus to the neighboring town is ordinary for me. But in this ordinary thing, there is something extraordinary. Well, in short, to be honest, my mind starts to twist like a Rubik's Cube, realizing we're about to go on a date. I mean, you kind of already are on the date. Oh. Crap, I'm getting really nervous. Don't be creepy. I take a deep breath, trying not to let Saber notice. And I know I shouldn't, but I sneak one more glance at Saber. Bro, like, don't get me wrong, she's beautiful, but like, chill the fuck out. My heart jumps. The Saber sitting next to me is a Saber I don't know. No, Saber herself is the same. All that's changed is the place. But still, just that makes me realize she is different. Something I didn't notice back at my place. This ordinary scene seems like a different world just because it has Saber in it. Her hair is like golden silk, and her green eyes are so beautiful that their mere presence is overwhelming. There wasn't much to compare her against up to now, so I forgot about it. I remember the time I first met Saber. I was probably avoiding her because I was embarrassed about being fascinated by her. No matter what Saber says, she is a girl before she is a swordsman, for me. I didn't know how to approach her and didn't realize my feelings for her. It's stupid even for me. I was finally able to believe in Saber with everything I have, and then I decided to go on a date with her. Just those two are in the wrong order. And I finally realized when our day is about to begin just how big of a deal it is to go on a date with the girl you like. Yeah, I assume this is his first, like, real date with someone that, like, he likes in that way. But that's fine. I can only do my best, so I can't back out now. I calm myself and shake off my weak spirits. The bus has crossed the bridge and it's going into the developing area where the buildings are. I breathe out and prepare myself. The announcer I'm so used to hearing announces the next stop, Shinto Station. Alright. It's still 9 in the morning, but the area in front of the station is crowded. Most shops open at 10, but cafes and bookstores are already open. There are already many more people than there were at Miyama City, and this place is as crowded as it is on weekends. Bro, she is like disgusted with you right now. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Why are we doing this? Getting off the bus, Saber looks around unhappily. It's only natural. Saber was against this date, and people passing by are looking at her curiously. She does have blonde hair, which, I mean, even though there's random purple-haired and people like the fucking Matos and stuff, the blonde hair, the green eyes, even in this universe, is a bit of a dead giveaway. and just generally how she looks is, even though it's anime, so you can't really tell, she's obviously of European descent, so even though it's gradually becoming more and more common to see more foreigners in Japan, it's still, foreigners get stared at in Japan. Even though, to be fair, when I was there, I didn't really notice it as much as a lot, but you definitely get, people look at you, without a doubt. And I think it's weird coming from a US perspective, because in US culture, obviously there's people that are, racist and stuff, but it really is a small amount of people. Most people, you're used to it, because, especially, I live in California, it's even more so. I see white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, black people all the time, right? It's just normal. Because, the US is such a, especially where I'm from, it's just such a mix of culture and ethnicities and stuff that's, it's not weird at all. But obviously in countries that are a lot less racially diverse, you're the odd person out. You look different. So people, of course, are going to stare at you.
まずったな。考えてみれば、朝からセイバーを連れてくれば当然こうなる。
And she's also fucking gorgeous, so there's that too. But that's going to follow us around for the whole day. If there's a way to calm it down, it's to make Saber have so much fun that she forgets about the people staring at her. Yeah, good luck with that. Bro, did you just slap yourself? I pound a fist and turn to Saber. Oh, okay.
セイバー、初めに聞いておくけど、どこか行ってみたいところはあるか？せっかく来たんだから、今日ぐらいは好きなことをしてもいいだろう。
I don't even know what would... That's the thing. She never did what she wanted to do in her old life, but let alone even though she understands this time, she's still not really fully engulfed in this time, so she probably doesn't even know what she could do. Not well.
別にこれといって興味のある場所はありませんから。そもそも私にそのような選択をする知識はありません。
Yeah, she doesn't even have time from Arturia to base that decision, and even if she did, she would still... It would still be based on outdated knowledge.
本当か？そりゃ参ったな。じゃあ本当にここからは出たとこ勝負なわけか。セイバーに行きたいところがなくて、こっちもどこに行っていいかわからないんじゃん。前途多難だ。
Alright, Shiro.
まさかとは思うのですが、何の計画も立てていないのですか、シロ？
いや、少しはあるけど、中身はガラガラ。とりあえず、手当たり次第に店をはしごしよう。
You know, it's easier to make plans about how to defeat masters and servants than it is to make plans about how to go on a date with you, Saber. I don't know why that's surprising. Just look at you. You're quite literally a woman out of time that never even had fun when she was in her own time. Well, that's still difficult. I know places where I won't get bored, but I can't even imagine where a girl would be happy to go to. Just think of her as a regular person. I think you're emphasizing the fact that she's a woman a little too much. And I get that it's a date, then that's kind of intrinsically related in this case, but just try to have fun. And just think what might be fun to do in general. If you might find it fun, then she might. You never know. Jeez, if it's gonna end up like this, I wish I'd gone out with a girl just once. I mean, I'm sure Rin would have agreed to a practice date if you wanted. She would have embarrassed you big time, but she still would have agreed.
まったく反論するわけではありませんが、シロはどうかしています。休憩を取ろうという考えはまだいい。ですが、その休憩すら明確な予定を立てていないとは何事ですか。
Damn, Saber roasting Shiro for not adequately planning their date is pretty hilarious. Oh, Saber enters her scolding mode. It's like, I didn't want to call you mommy until later tonight. Stop acting like my mom, Saber. This is the first time she started to complain about something outside of the dojo. I knew she was irritated not being up for this and being looked at by curious eyes, but I didn't think she was this irritated.
かねてからあなたの見積もりの甘さには一言したかったのです。あなたは周りのことは目に入ってるくせに、どうも自身に対する扱いが存在です。
And that's an incredibly fair criticism of Shiro that I have made myself in this Let's Play.
結果祖母を埋めるためにあなた自身が対価を払わなくてはならなくなる
Yep.
と聞いているのですかシロ？
聞いてるよ。要するに今こうしているのが納得いかないんだろセイバー。まあ
Oops.
俺に連れ回されてもつまらないのは目に見えてるし、嫌がるのは当然だろうけど。
いえそういうことではなく、私は今はこのようなことをしている場合ではないと。
それも分かってるけど聞かない。俺は今日一日セイバーに付き合ってもらうって決めたんだ。こればっかりは何て言われようと曲げない。絶対だ。
I look at Saber. Saber just looks back at me in shock.
ただ言いたいことがあるなら聞く。文句もあるだろうし、そういうのは今のうちに言っておいてくれ。その方がお互い気兼ねしなくて済む。
That's actually a really reasonable thing to ask.
セイバーが俺とデートするのが嫌だって言うんなら別の方法だって考える。
あ、いえ何もそこまでする必要はないと言いますか。私はその
Saber averts her gaze and runs out of words.
なら文句はないんだな。じゃあ行くぞ。セイバーにリクエストがないんだからどこ行っても怒るなよ。
Damn. I'm considering an ordinary place like an aquarium. That's kind of a cute... That's not a bad idea. Man, I haven't been to an aquarium in years. I decide and grab Saber's hand.
シロ、文句はありませんが、何も手をつかむ必要はないのではありませんか。
I mean, I've already stuck it in, so what's wrong with going just a little bit further?
いや時間ももったいないし少し走るからな。案内するからはぐれないようについてこい。
Aww.
いえこんな状態ではその
Damn. I start to run without waiting for Saber's reply. Non-consensual hand-holding. Since I've talked big to Saber, I can't act miserable now. I just have to take her to every possible place I can think of. I run, holding Saber's hand. She must have accepted it as Saber finally stops complaining and follows me quietly. Well, it's before 10 o'clock. I'll make the 2 hours before lunchtime worthwhile and surprise her. It have been some fun little transitions. To summarize, the 2 hours went by like a storm. What the fuck? Went to a boutique I usually don't go to, and we played bowling while I taught her the rules. Aww. I couldn't find an aquarium, but we fed some birds in a park. We also went to an antique store, and I still think it was best not to go to the movie theater. Anyways, I kept taking her to places a girl might like for the past 2 hours, and there were many results. Honorable defeats and total defeats, lol. I don't think this is what people would call a date. It's more like a contest. A fight to the death where the first one to give up loses. Honestly, that sounds like a perfect date for you two. Saber is the same as usual no matter where I take her, and she sometimes goes so quiet that I seriously start wondering if she's really mad. She gives no reaction, so I became desperate to make her happy at the next place I take her to. As a result, I became obstinate about making Saber smile and ran around different places all morning, but it's already noon without much success. Take her to a nice restaurant, give her some food that that'll blow her away. So, as Saber reminded me it's time for lunch, I decided to take a short break, but... It looks like you took my advice and you don't even realize it? I complain once we're seated at a table.
昼食なら川沿いの喫茶店がおすすめよ。
Oh no. Oh no. Rit is going to make this man broke. That was the only advice Tosaka gave me last night. I trusted her and chose this place, but I never thought it would be so fastidicious. I've never seen that word before. I mean, I could, like, hoity. You know. I can use context clues, but... fastidious, possibly. I look at the menu. Fortunately, the menu has a version in Japanese as well, so I have no problems reading it. Oh, this is supposed to be like a Western-themed restaurant? But the trouble is, I can't understand what kind of food it is from the name, and the prices are outrageous.
火星かここは。何を頼んでいいのか全くわからないぞ。
Any chance that Saber might be familiar with any of this? I groan looking at the menu.
シロ、ここには昼食をとるために立ち寄ったのではないのですか？
I hear a rather frail voice from the other side of the table.
そうなんだが、いかんせん勝手が違うというか。
I raise my head, and then there is Saber with an expression like a cornered rabbit.
セイバ
ー？落ち着かないのなら、今だけでも屋敷に戻りましょう。シローが用意してくれるものの方が私は好みです。
Aww.
ね、それは家に帰りたいってことか？
いえ、屋敷に帰りたいわけではなくですね。今日はひどく緊張したので、普段より疲れてしまったのです。
That's surprisingly sweet of you.
本当か。そっか。ここで飯にして一息ついたらまた街を出歩こうと思ったんだけど。
まさかそのようなことはありません。疲れたというのは語弊がありました。正しくはですね。
Emotion. Saber stops. The small gurgling sound was fortunately small enough that only I could hear. That is such an adorable phase. I don't think we've seen... I'm almost positive this is a new sprite. I don't think we've seen that shot. That's adorable. Yeah, she's hungry.
つまり、昼食は早めにしてもらえると助かるということです。
了解。そうだな。面白みがないけど無難なところを頼んでみて、さっさと飯にありつこうか。
What exactly would be safe? Simple if all we want are light snacks. I order 2 things from the lunch menu and decide to eat quickly. I consider what to do in the afternoon while drinking the after-meal coffee. What I learned this morning is that anything physical is not good. Saber gets serious when it comes to contests. That's good for me, but it makes Saber stand out even more. After we finished a game, Saber got angry because she caught all the attention she wanted to avoid.
そんなわけで体を動かすのは避けると。
Alright.
なあ、セイバー。2度目になるけど、どこか行きたいところってあるか？
What we need to finish the classic date thing, we need a festival. And it preferably should be at night, but we need a festival to go to. Like, it's just the classic date cliche festival is what we need.
私にですか？いえ、特にはありません。私ではわかりませんから、このままシローにお任せします。
I think she would really enjoy, like, some sort of semi-traditional Japanese festival. And it would be, like, a very, like, anime, otaku kind of cliche storyline for a date. Saying so, Saber lifts her teacup. Saber ordered English tea, and it seems she really likes the taste. We don't have much English tea at my place, and even if we did, it's all instant tea bags. Seems Saber was a bit dissatisfied with the drinks at my house, and she seems to like English tea. I mean, it makes sense. I should put that into consideration starting tonight. Well, it's a taste of home, right? And given that she was king, she probably had, like, very high-quality English tea, which this place also probably does as well, based on the supposed pricing. Saber is sitting there and drinking tea. She doesn't seem happy or bored. If I had to use one word to describe her, it'd be that she looks natural. She drinks her tea, sitting up straight in the shadows of the streaming sunlight. Even though this is the first time I've seen such a thing, it doesn't seem strange. Feels like I've seen such a scene before. Why do I feel that? The Saber I know is a tense girl who's always holding a sword and fighting.
Ah, そうか。
That's only natural. I also know her attitude after she lets go of her sword. Once she stops fighting, Saber has always been calm and gentle. The scene looks natural rather than new because this is her true nature. I hate this OST. No matter how superior she is as a swordsman, it is natural for Saber to be like this. Rather, it's abnormal for her to hold a sword at all. I once thought in my dream that she wasn't suited for fighting. I don't think I'm wrong. No matter how superior her technique, or no matter how many battles she's experienced, as long as she is who she is, it can't have been a comfortable place to be. So this is natural. Saber is resting, not holding a sword. This calm scene is the way she should be. Oh, thank God. I hated that OST. We do the same thing in the afternoon. I go to every place I can think of, and Saber follows me silently. But it's not as painful as it was in the morning. I don't know if it's because I'm getting used to it, or whether Saber is complying. Also, this is a new OST, too. Pretty sure. This is a fun one. Saber still isn't talkative, but if I look closely, her expression isn't like it is when she's mad. There's a feeling of accomplishment and happiness when I see Saber leave his shop with light steps. So, considering many factors that might make Saber happy from many angles... Hey, that's a good one. Wow, this is gonna be adorable. It's like a fucking, like, Build-A-Bear thing. Although I don't really see a Build-A-Bear, it's just Grab-A-Bear, more like it. I'm a bit dubious, but I've determined that this shop will be the best suited for Saber. Saber stands there dumbfounded. Is she gonna think that you're treating her like a kid? I don't know if her shoulders are shaking because she's angry or because she's deeply moved. Maybe somewhere in the middle.
Shiro, ここは
街で一番品揃えのいいぬいぐるみ屋だってさ。男子禁制らしいんで立ち寄ったことはなかったけど。
Excuse me? Men aren't allowed in? What is this fucking... What the fuck? Of course, there's actually not a rule like that. What the fuck? But since there are only women and no men, it's like an unwritten rule. Fair enough. To prove it, there are only girls in here. The golden-haired Saber is being stared at, but being a guy, I'm being glared at. Sure, they want to tell me not to come into their sanctuary. I feel the same way. I would not approve of men entering this place. What the fuck is this?
ま、せっかく来たんだから周りは気にせず見て回ろう。そういえば好きな動物っているか？
主に獅子や豹などは愛らしいと思っているのですが、おかしいでしょうか？
I would say for King Arthur, a lion would be fitting. For obvious reasons. Possibly a dragon. But that might be a little hardcore. She asked me with upturned eyes. Obviously, we had the dragon thing earlier in the story with Saber, but both the dragon and the lion make the most sense, and you guys could probably figure out why. They have to do with where she's from. I look away instantly and contain my laughter. The funny thing is, Saber is strange for thinking she's strange for thinking lions are cute. Wow.
シロ、今の行為は不自然です。何か言われのない怒りを覚えるのですが、私の気のせいでしょうか？
Yes, it was just your imagination, mommy.
いや、悪い悪い。ライオンってのがあんまりにもセイバーらしかったんで、つい笑っちまった。
What, ferocious, beautiful creatures?
人の趣味を笑うのは良くないことです、シロ。それにライオンも悪くありません。
No, not at all, Saber.
だからすまなかったって。お詫びにいいとこに連れてくから、それで機嫌を直してくれ。
I go into the store while trying to hold my laughter. Well, it looks like the stuffed animals are that way. This is a good OST. I'm so sick of these transitions and then so. It's taken about an hour to go around the store. I looked at Saber staring at stuffed animals and felt really nervous with all the girls there. Anyways, it was the most tiring hour so far, I bet. The worst part is we've only looked through half the store. It took us this long just to look at half of it because Saber was frequently paralyzed. I mean, Saber kept staring down stuffed animals. Looks like Saber is interested in the other half too, so I'll have to accompany her.
シロ、どうしたのです、ため息をついて。歩き通して疲れてしまったとか。
There's nothing worse than the boyfriend accompanying the girlfriend shopping and she just spends 20 million years. One of the reasons why I am very happily single, and hopefully stay that way. So, you know. I mean, you never know, though.
ああ、ちょっと疲れた。こんな程度で値を上げるほどやわじゃないんだけどな。ここは特別だ。やっぱり慣れないことはするもんじゃないのか。
It's mentally and emotionally exhausting, is what he's trying to say. I let out a big sigh. I don't mind being looked at by other people while walking with Saber, but a girls only place like this is really uncomfortable. I would think this would be more skewed towards kids, but there are a lot of, you know, teenage and adult women who are into this type of stuff too, of course. I mean, stuffed animals is pretty popular, and I don't know about specifically in Japan, it might honestly probably is more popular if I had to guess. Boredom sometimes tires one's body, and that too.
そういうセイバーは大丈夫か？こういう店初めてだろ？疲れたんなら言ってくれ。
確かに私も落ち着きませんが、シロの方が居心地が悪そうです。ここだけではなく、先ほどの店もその前の店でもそうでした。
Interesting.
まさかとは思うのですが、シロは自分で行きたくない場所を選んでいるのではないですか？
For me, Saber's words are enough to cast away my worries.
そうだな。正直に言えば、あえて苦手なところを選んでるけど。
やはりどうかしています、シロ。慣れないと分かっていて、なぜこのような場所ばかり選ぶのです。それ
だって女の子にはこういう場所のが似合うだろう。遊びに行こうって連れ出したのは俺なんだから。今日はセイバーの日なわけだし。
Aww. Man, I love Saber. Like, even though I'm Team Ren all the way, I do fucking love Saber. Like, let's not get it twisted.
それに、そう居心地悪くないぞ。セイバーがいるから大丈夫。隣にこれだけ美人がいるんだから、妬まれることはあれ、場違いだって思われることもないし。
That was actually a really nice compliment.
何をバカな。武装していなくても私はサーバントです。いかに非戦闘時だからといって私を女性扱いする必要はありません。普段通りサーバントとして扱ってください。
Come on, Saber. Both of us know he's never treated you as a servant and he's always treated you as a woman. Let's be real.
バカはそっちだ。普段通りも何も、セイバーは初めっから女の子じゃないか。別に今日だけ気を使ってるわけじゃないし、今日の俺っていつもと違うか。
And Shiro is basically saying what I just said. In astonishment, Saber opens her mouth as if she just realized that. That's hilarious.
いえ、同じです。あなたはいつも通りのシロでした。
だろ？だから俺に気を使う必要なんてないぞ。
Yeah, he's never treated you as it's never really been a master-servant dynamic for him.
ほら、それじゃ行こう。一番気に入ったものを買うんだから、あと半分も見ないとダメだろ。
I take Saber's hand. Saber silently follows me.
そうでした。初めからそうだったのに、今になって気がつくなんて。
I guess she's been so focused on it, and obviously we now know about her last experience with a master, Kiritsugu, and how that supposedly went. We learned about that in the last episode, because literally everything happened in the last episode. She murmurs to herself, Now we get one of the really good OSTs in here. I'm such a mark for a piano, though. The unusual day goes by quickly. You got some string instrument. Oh, beautiful. Saber never laughed, nor could I laugh from my heart. It's not like there was any memorable moments, nor were it so boring that I regret doing it. To be frank, this was nothing. Saber might have been happier if we stayed at the mansion and trained together. But today wasn't bad. Wasn't fun or boring, but I could be proud of it in the end. You gave it your best shot, and you know, it'll be memories you'll never forget. After the battle was over and everything goes back to normal, it would be too sad if all the time Saber and I had was spent fighting, and training is a form of fighting, sure. Even if it's something stupid, she has to spend some time not fighting, or there's no point in her being here. So I could be proud of myself for now. The end is near. When everything comes to an end and when there's no more need to fight, if Saber will remember this moment and remember that this happened, that alone is enough for me to be proud of. Aww. That's really sweet. We go home on foot. Because Saber said...
帰りは歩いて行きましょう。
Oh, she actually requested something. She wanted to walk with you. Just as I decided to go home by bus. There's some wind now. The vivid setting sun is lighting the bridge red. Yeah, this would be beautiful to be on the bridge looking at the sunset. Saber notices something and stops. She's watching a mountain of rubble. It's not that tall, even though it's a mountain of rubble. Steel frames and the like are piled right up to the water's surface and are slightly distorting the flow of the river. I don't know why, but it seems like a ship sank or something and pieces of it flowed into a mountain. I heard the local residents have been demanding its removal for a long time since it damages the beautiful sight.
なんだよ、セイバー。あれが気になったのか？
いえ、まだ残っていたのかと。
Oh.
あれの原因は私ですから。前回の戦いで水上戦を余儀なくされ、ここで宝具を使ってしまった。
Oh, that's sick.
被害は川を干上がらせただけでしたが、運悪く停泊していた船を巻き込んでしまったのです。
Ah, okay.
はあ？巻き込んだって、まさかエクスカリバーにか？
そうなのですが、幸い乗客はいませんでしたし、被害も大きくなかったんです。川だって今では元通りですし、
Man,
そう怒らなくともいいではありませんか。
I'm so hyped for Fate Zero.
私だって反省しているのですから。
Even though, again, it's not going to be for 20 million years, but... Funny thing is, I'll probably forget a lot of the details, the specifics. I should watch out. I have to take care to only use Excalibur in an open place like this.
シロ、まだ怒っていますか？
いや、別に怒ってない。ただびっくりしただけだ。あとはまあ前回の名残って結構あるんだなって。
I mean, it really shows the power of the servants.
中央公園のあれのに比べたら川の瓦礫なんて問題じゃないだろう。まあ船の持ち主は災難だったとは思うが。
それはご安心を。船の持ち主には保険が下りたと桐次が言っていましたし、もともと緩衝材にするつもりで船を止めさせたのですから。船体を壁に見立てて宝具の威力を削いだのですね。
はっ。
なんだ、じゃあ初めから承知で船を壊したってことか。
Interesting.
承知していたわけではありません。あれは桐次が私に黙って用意していたものです。
I'm so curious to see this dynamic with Kiritsugu and Saber.
そうですね。桐次には戦いの流れが読めていたのでしょう。船を用意する前もその後も一言も口にしなかったので気がつきませんでしたが。
Bro was wildin'. Saber looks down at the river yearningly. The water surface reflects the sunset. The wind coming from the river is a bit strong and flutters Saber's hair. Is it because she looks so beautiful like that?
セイバー、今日は 楽しかったか？
I was assaulted by a sudden fear that Saber might just disappear, and I asked something I don't need to ask.
はい。何か言いましたか、シロ。
Just take a second, everyone, to appreciate this.
言った。今日は楽しかったか聞いた。
She gasps. Saber opens her eyes in amazement.
そうですね。新鮮でないと言えば嘘になります。
Yeah, it was an experience. She says so in a voice of hope, as if such a thing will never happen again. I knew what her answer would be. All I could do now is nod and just go home. Everything can return to the way it was. Just like that.
そうか。
I nod, looking at Saber.
ならまた行こう。こんなの別に今回限りってわけじゃないんだから。
And I say something I won't be able to take back. Saber freezes. She must have realized what I want to say. She shakes her head, looking directly at me, as if saying there won't be a next time. As if this mistake is only for today.
それはなぜ？
I know Saber's answer, but I ask, not liking the answer I expect.
なぜも何もない。サーバントは戦うために存在するものです。
Oh,
今日のような行為は自らの存在を否定することになる。
being a servant is much like being the king. You exist for a specific purpose, and anything beyond that purpose is pointless.
シローが休憩すべきだと判断したから従いましたが、もうこの先は体を休める必要はないでしょう。
Yeah, we're in the home stretch of this thing.
残る敵は少ない。シローが命じるなら今すぐにでもランサーを探し出したいほどですが。
She looks at me with eyes full of fire. Saber is saying she will start fighting right now if I order it. That causes me to get mad about all the things I can't approve of.
なんだよそれ。そんなに戦いたいのか、お前は。
当然でしょう。戦えば戦うほど聖杯に近づくのです。私にとって戦闘は何よりも優先すべきことです。それは素人って分かっているはずですが。
I mean, in the end, that is her purpose, is to acquire the Holy Grail.
ああ、分かってる。だからおかしいんだ。前から言いたかったんだけどな。矛盾してるぞ、お前。セイバーは戦いが大事だっていう割に、自分から戦いたいなんて思ってないだろう。他に手段がないから、いやいや戦ってるに過ぎないんじゃないのか。
And here he goes. Shiro's finally directly saying what he's felt the whole fucking game about Saber.
そんなことはありません。私は戦闘をためらわない。
Just because you don't hesitate doesn't mean you like it.
勝利するためならば手段は選ばないと言ったでしょう。
Nothing you just said denies what Shiro is stating. Yeah, she did say that. That's not a reason to like fighting.
できる範囲でだろ。いいか、セイバー。単純に他のマスターを倒して聖杯を手に入れるっていうんならさ、ライダーみたいに人を襲って力を得ればいい。だけど、セイバーはそれが嫌なんだろう。
それは
無関係な人間を巻き込みたくないんじゃない。いざ戦いになれば人は死ぬものだとお前はよく分かっている。そうだからこそお前は戦闘を最小限に抑えたがっていた。戦えば死者は出る。だから早く終わらせたいって。
That's what she always did. Is
つまりさ、お前は犠牲者が出る戦いってやつがたまらなく怖いんだ。
That's what she always did as King Arthur as well. She would even sacrifice people before the battle if it meant she could minimize the victims. Whatever she can do to minimize the victims. After opening her eyes as if she's seen a ghost, she grits her teeth and straightens her stare.
違います。私は戦いを怖がってなどいません。
そうだな。確かに お前は初めから怖がってなんていなかったと思う、そんな個人の恐怖なんて王の使命とやらで塗りつぶされていたんだろうから。だけどそれでもお前は戦いを嫌ってる。
You fear the cost of those battles.
お前は単に強くて戦いがうまかっただけだけど、それはお前が望んだ才能じゃないだろう。はっきり言うぞ、お前は戦いになんて向いていない。本当は剣を取ることさえ嫌だったはずだ。戦うことだけが目的だっていうのはお前自身がお前をごまかすための言い分に過ぎない。
Yeah, he's saying that's the opposite of what you said. This isn't a distraction. This isn't denying yourself. It's everything else that's denying yourself. It's so simple. Why didn't you or anybody around you notice it?
シロ、いくらあなたでもそれ以上の侮辱は許しません。
図星だから我慢できないんだろ。
Holy shit, he's
認めたら
pushing.
戦えなくなるからな。
She grits her teeth. Saber glares at me in anger. I feel like she might actually slap him. That would be wild, but I can't back away. If I believe I'm right, I can't run away.
だからやめろよ。お前だってやめたがってるんだろ。剣なんて自分に向いてないって分かってるんだろ。ならやめてしまえばいい。サーバントなんてやめて、もっと自分に向いたことをしろ。
To be fair, Shiro, it's kinda too late for that. I mean, worst case scenario, she would still need to fight enough to win the Holy Grail to even have that choice. She needs to regain the happiness she should have had as a human. For that,
バカなことを。私に戦う以外の選択肢などありません。こ
even
の
if
私は聖杯を手に入れるためだけのものです。
even if she accepted the reality that you're spewing, she would still need to obtain the Holy Grail.
王の誓いを守るためにこの身を差し出した。それ以外の自分の使い道など私には許されない。
I only exist to obtain the Holy Grail. That annoys me the most. Why does she say ridiculous things like that as if to convince herself? Everyone around her took her word because she kept saying things like that.
バカ、そんなことあるか。道なんていくらでもある。お前はここにいるんだ。昔のお前とは違う。ならこれからは自分のために生きなきゃダメだ。間違っても聖杯を。
The final wish she's permitted.
どうでもいい他人のためなんかには使うな。
Holy shit.
ここにいるならセイバーはここで幸せにならなきゃダメだ。
Aww. I hear the wind. Saber doesn't answer. She doesn't even nod. She just looks back at me.
その言葉にはうなずけない。 私はあなたに従うと契約した。だが心まで預けたわけではありません、マスター。
Oh! I made a contract to obey you, but I did not give you my heart, master. What a fucking line. She replies with a strong voice. Hey, she's headstrong and determined herself.
王の誓いは破れない。私には王として果たさなければならない責務がある。アーサー王の目的は聖杯の入手です。それが叶おうとも私はアルトリアに戻ることはないでしょう。私の望みは初めから一つだけ。剣を手にした時からこの誓いは永遠に変わらないのですから。
なんでだよ。セイバーがやらなくちゃいけないことはそんなんじゃないだろう。そんな最後まで報われないなんて間違ってる。お前には聖杯なんて必要ない。それに
And Saber's wish won't come true. It's impossible to erase everything that's happened.
セイバー、起きてしまったことをやり直すなんてできないんだ。いや、それはやってはいけないことだと思う。そんなことぐらいお前だって気づいてるんじゃないのか。
Yeah, the ripple effects of her succeeding are horrifying.
いいえ、決してそんなことは。
But I don't think she cares.
なら言ってやる。たとえどんなにひどい結末だろうと、起きてしまったことを変えるなんてできない。できなかったからやり直しがしたいなんて、そんなのは子供のわがままと同じじゃないか。
Holy shit. This is one of the best scenes of the game for sure. This is fantastic. I really wasn't expecting it to get this serious. I really thought we'd keep this a bit more fun, but this is phenomenal. I mean, this is really a culmination of Shiro and Saber's character arcs, really, in this route, at least. Our words end there. Can't really reject what you're saying, but that doesn't mean she hasn't made that choice. Saber doesn't say anything. I don't have anything more to say. The wind has stopped as well. No, the wind hasn't stopped. It's only died down for a second. There it goes. Another sound of wind. Just as I feel the wind on my cheek.
シロなら分かってくれると思っていた。
Holy shit, she's about to call him the fuck out. The wind has changed into a headwind. Yeah, don't
今日
forget.
一日無意に過ごし、言いたかったことはそれだけですか。
And now she's going full Saber. Holy shit. And of course, you know, I want to talk about, I don't think I need to even say it, but I'll mention it anyways, the obvious symbolism of the wind, because she's the Wind King. A cold voice. It contains only rejection.
思い上がらないでほしい。あなた程度の人間に
Holy
私の何
shit.
がわかるというのです。あなたに私に踏み入る権利などない。
It's like, it's so good because I generally agree with what Shiro's saying, but I can't deny anything Saber is saying right now at the same time. And it's like, I understand she has a duty, and this is the perfect theme to be playing. This is such a, like, I have to do what I have to do type theme. It's great. One of the best themes in the game.
戦うなですか。私に守られなければならない未熟なマスターが何を。そのような世まい事を吐くのは一人で戦えるようになってからにしてください。
Yeah, lest you forget that I could still kick your ass without even trying.
まあそんなことは永遠にありえないでしょうが。
I highly doubt it.
違う。世まいごとって俺は。
ですから世まい事でしょう。自分のことを
And there it is!
それは素人と同じではありませんか。
And there's the one thing that I can't agree with Shiro on. Shiro is the ultimate fucking hypocrite to make this plea to Saber when Shiro is just like Saber and doesn't care about anything for himself. He just wants what's best for everyone else, just like Saber. They're the same. And that's what makes this so good.
あなたは自分の命が感情に入っていない。
Yep. You're the last person that can truly tell Saber that.
あなたは私が間違っていると言いますが、あなたの方こそ何かを間違えている。
Oh!
自身より他人を優先するなど死者の考えだ。
Holy shit.
自身の命の重みも知らない大バカ者がよくもそんなことを言えたものです。
Yes!
セイバー、お前。
And you cannot deny this, Shiro. There's no defense of this. It is not selfish to value one's own life. It is human to value one's own life.
勘に触りましたか。なら、いっそのこと警
Oh!
察に対処しても構いま
Holy
せん。
shit!
どうせあなたは聖杯を必要としていない。
Bro.
あとは私一人でマスターを破り聖杯を手に入れるだけですから。そんなに戦うのが嫌ならばあなたは遠くで隠れていればいいでしょう。
Oh my god, Saber.
セイバー、お前。
Yeah.
それ本気で言ってるのか。
I mean, you've turned her on yourself. I ask with a trembling voice. My teeth are chattering because I'm suppressing my emotion.
当然です。私の目的は聖杯だけ。それ以外のことなど余計だ。
Can I also say the seiyus are so fucking good? Holy shit. The voice acting. It's great.
シロ、それはあなたも例外ではありません。
I stop breathing. I bare my head, going white, and managed to restart my stopped heart. Well, this could not have gone worse.
へい、そんなに戦いたいってんなら勝手にしろ。もう俺は知らないからな。
You don't even remotely mean that, Shiro. But I can't stop my emotions. I yell what sounds like an excuse and run away from Saber. I get away from her. But for a moment, I think I see Saber standing there absent-mindedly. She didn't want to do this. But she felt at this point she had no more choice, because if she didn't drive you away, she was gonna fall into your game. And she was gonna care more about living a life that she wanted to live instead of doing her duty as King Arthur. Oh, I'm almost crying, honestly. I'm pretty close. I feel it. This is so good. I run. I keep running, not knowing what's so vexing or maddening. You love her, you dumbass.
それ以外のことなど余計だ。シロ、それはあなたも。
And you can't deny the fact that she's right. You know it. I grit my teeth hard and stop myself from yelling out. Just remembering it makes me white out and I might run into a pole or something. No, it would be easy if I could do that. If I was just angry at Saber, I could just take it out on something. You're angry with yourself. That's not the cause of this fury. You know she's right about you, Shiro. It's not just Saber that I'm mad at, yep. It's so vexing. And I keep running so hard because I hate how weak I am. Yeah, the ally of justice over here. Saber was standing there absent-mindedly. The words she said just as the wind changed directions.
シロなら分かってくれると思っていた。
Yep.
くそ、そんなの分かるか、バカ。
Ooh. I spit that out, then regret it so much that I almost fall. What was it about? Her voice, like a farewell, sounded like she was crying. Come to think of it, maybe those words were the only honest things she said. Those words murmured, with her head hung. A voice of hope, disappointment, and wishes. Then, who was the betrayer? And who was betrayed? Oh, yeah, it's so good! Oh my god! Holy shit, that... Oh, what a line. I have no idea how this is gonna end. This is... Oh, like, if there was any doubt we're in the end game, we're in the fucking end game. Shit was wild last episode. So much happened. And this episode is a very different experience, but this episode is like the emotional... We're reaching the emotional climax of the Fate route, and it is fantastic. Is Ren gonna slap you? Because you could probably use it. I run into my room and shut the door. I collapse. I don't want to stand up. I just want to lie down and go to sleep. But my body is still burning. My heart feels like it's splitting open and my lungs are desperate for air. I ran full speed from the bridge to here. My body must be exhausted. I haven't run enough emotionally. But my body is telling me to calm down. I slowly calm down. I take a deep breath and let it out. Poor Shiro. And after I settle my breathing, all that fills my head is the question of why I was so enraged, because you know she was right. I don't even have to think about it. I ran as if throwing something off me because I was so powerless. I can't save Saber. And there it is, the theme. I don't know if I should say the theme of the whole game or the theme of the Fate route. I'll just say the theme of the Fate route for now. That fact is so vexing that I was angry at myself. I can't do anything. I promised to make her laugh. I promised to protect her, but I can't do anything. That makes me furious.
けどどうしろってんだ。セイバー自身が自分の幸せを求めていない限り、他人がどうこう言っても無駄だってのに。
That's why I tried hard, so she'd be able to find her own happiness. But you never truly let yourself find happiness, even though you loved her. But she told me that was meaningless, and on top of that, she called me a fool.
自身の命の重みも知らない。大バカ者か。
What can I do when she says that? You can't do anything because she's right. I value my life as well, and I don't want to do anything that might endanger it. You're in denial. This has nothing to do with Saber. I think it's unfair of her to bring it up right there. No matter how stupid I am, I'm sure Saber's wrong. But if she denies me like that, I can't do anything.
くそ。もう勝手にしろ。
I turn over and lie on my stomach. The floor is the only view, so I close my eyes to black out my mind. That's it. I don't care about Saber anymore. If the Holy Grail is so important to her, she can go marry it. Oh my god, what a immature line. That's hilarious. She is so obstinate that she doesn't understand after I've told her this much. I'll be burned if I associate with her anymore. I mean, you kind of already were. No, I'll be seriously hurt. You already were. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a... We flashed the shot. I don't know if that was, safe for work or not. And now I have to find that in editing. Jesus Christ. I've already been hurt, though. Not just burned. I met her, fought with her many times, and even had sex with her, though it was just to survive. The heat of that night wasn't a burn, but it almost killed my brain. Why? Why do I recall such a thing when I'm so pissed off? If I recall that, it won't matter what Saber says.
何が戦うだけのものだ。それなら半端に弱い部分なんて見せるなって言うんだ。
Anyways, Saber is unfair. I don't know what's so unfair, but I think it's unfair that I don't know what's unfair. I can't hate her even though I'm this mad, and the more I try to ignore her, the more I can't. It's such a contradiction. Her whole existence is unfair. I can't hate her no matter what.
畜生。惚れた方が負けってこういうことか。
And there you go, he finally admits it to himself. But I can't help it. If I can't give up no matter how useless she tells me it is, I have to keep trying until the end. No matter how much Saber hates it or rejects me, if I believe I'm right.
シローなら分かってくれると思っていた。
I remember her face, about to cry. In the future, will she make that kind of a face every time I repeat this?
それでもだ。どんなことになってもうなずくわけにはいかない。
Well, like, good for you. Even if I'm wrong and Saber's right, if she's really important to me, I can never apologize to her, you know? And that's a good thing. In this particular instance. Holy shit. I thought I heard a sound. When did the sun set? The room is dark. The sound of the second hand on the clock is annoying.
ちょっといつまで寝ぼけてるのよ。いい加減起きてもらわないと困るんだけど。だから起きなさいって。もう10時過ぎよ。ご飯を食べさせろってイリアがうるさいんだから起きて相手をしてあげなさい。
Yeah, you still have two other women living with you, so... An angry voice. That wakes me up completely.
10時過ぎ
I get up quickly.
そう。正確には22時17分。 夕飯の時間にしては論外ね。
Yeah, I often have dinner on the quite late, way later than your normal person, and even that's late for me. Tosaka looks flabbergasted.
すまん、寝てた。すぐに行くから今で待っててくれ。
I mean, they're immediately gonna notice the lack of a third woman at the table, though, so you're gonna have to explain it.
それはいいけど、シロ、セイバーは？
いや、ここにいないんなら道場か今じゃないのか。
シロ、私はセイバーがいないから聞いてるの。
Osaka is serious. That tells me what the situation is in an instant.
まさか、あいつ帰ってきてないのか。
She was serious.
ちょっとシロ、帰ってきてないってどういうことよ。
Saber was dead serious. Like, I don't know why you even for a second thought she was coming back. She meant every word of what she said, just as you did. Osaka runs out of the room after me, but I have no time to explain. I run outside, ignoring Tosaka's words behind me. Does he run all the way back to the bridge? The town is quiet. A world like yesterday where all signs of people have vanished. I don't have enough composure to think it's strange now. Saber isn't back. Come to think of it, that's only natural. We argued so much. She said she would fight by herself. So, considering her personality, she really would go and fight by herself. Saber could be anywhere. It's possible that I won't find her and that she's fighting Lancer right now. But still, I came here first. The air by the river is cold. The park is so cold that it feels like frost is packed here. My breath is white, and my cheeks and ears hurt. It's so cold here. So how cold must it be on the bridge where the wind from the river rises? Is he gonna find her? That is where she is standing. Oh my god, she's stood there the whole time. Right where I fled from her. Saber is looking out at the river, not doing anything. Is she looking at the long-gone sunset? Her gaze into the distance seems to be watching a red horizon that has already disappeared. That makes me realize she's strong, yet so weak. Her gallant figure must be proof that she could live without anybody's help. But she is also so weak that my hand might go through her if I reach out. She can't do it alone, but she defends her pride until the end. That's why it was the same for me, watching stars that cannot be reached. She stares at the distant set sun, as if she knows nothing else. I can't leave her alone. If I lost, it was a complete loss for me. It made me swear to myself that I would never let her make such a face. I walk on the bridge. I'm making sounds, but Saber doesn't notice. I walk towards her in silence and stand next to her.
セイバー、体冷えるぞ。
She jumps. She must finally have noticed me.
シロ、
Saber turns around as if to question me.
何してんだよ、こんな時間まで。いつまでも帰ってこないから、遠坂が心配してたぞ。
そうですか。それは悪いことをした。
they're gonna not even really talk about it.
別にいいけどな。けど、なんだってこんなところにいたんだ、お前は。
はい。ここにいたのはまだ行き先が決まっていなかったからです。シローは勝手にしろと言ったでしょう。ですから勝手にしようと思ったのです。
She's never in her life been able to simply do as she pleased. She's always been following the king's mission in one form or another, as a servant, as the king.
けれど何をするべきか、何をしたいのか、どこに行きたいのか思い浮かばず、ずっとどこに行くべきかを考えていました。
That is so sad. She speaks like a lost child. She must feel guilty as Saber keeps averting her gaze. We did have that big fight. It's only natural for her to think I'm still mad.
申し訳ありません。リンには世話になったと伝えてください。ランサーを倒し、聖杯を手に入れたのなら、シローの元に戻ります。ですか。
Is she saying she'll wander around without a place to return to?
何言ってるんだ。お前が帰るところは俺んちだろ。飯だって布団だってちゃんとセイバーの分を用意してんだから。
ですが、シローはもう私のことなど知らないと。
Who cares?
そうだよ。セイバーが何考えてるか俺にはわからない。
So saying, I take Saber's hand.
シロー。
うちに帰るぞ。いくらサーバントだからって、
Nice.
こんなに冷えたら風邪をひく。早く戻ってあったかいものでも食べよ
う。ですが私は。
それと言っとくけど俺は謝らないからな。
I don't think either of you are going to apologize, and honestly, I don't think either of you should.
文句があるなら今のうちに言っとけよ。
I say so rudely, looking away from Saber. Their relationship has changed, though, from this day. She looks at me, astonished. She looks like she wants to apologize, but I ignore her. That must have worked on her. Saber doesn't say anything and follows while holding my hand. And now we're playing this theme. We're getting all the best themes. We come down from the bridge and into the park. It's 11 o'clock. There's nobody in the park, but it's overly decorated with things like the fountain and street lights. We keep walking. Saber is walking slowly. She was standing on that bridge for more than 5 hours. She must be freezing and be tired as well. She falls forward sometimes as I pull her by the hand.
セイバー、もう少しゆっくり歩こうか。なんか調子が良くなさそうだし。
Similarly, I don't think it's that much of a physical thing. I think it's more of a mental and emotional thing. I turn around to check on her.
いえ、体はとても元気です。ただリンの言葉に踊らされるわけではありませんが。
What the fuck?
こうして手をつないでいると、本当に合いびきのようだなと。
Oh my god.
え
So, hearing that, I feel my face burn up in an instant.
そうだな。手離そうか。セイバーが迷惑だったらの話だけど。
Even when you guys have the biggest fight you've ever had, you're still a pair of dorks. What the fuck?
いいえ、私もこうしている方がいいです。シローの手は温かくて安心します。
Wow. How about that? Our conversation ends right there. I walk on to hide my embarrassment. Saber silently accompanies me. How much further is it to the mansion? I feel embarrassed by the warmth in my hand as I leave the park. Many things happened today. But if it ends with this warmth, I can change religion and start to pray with that priest. But the instant I think so, I swear to fuck if we run into Lancer right now.
どこに行く
That... I don't think that was Lancer.
勝手に人のものを持っていくな小僧
Oh shit, is this Golden Boy? We meet someone we never should have met. My happy mind freezes in an instant. Goosebumps form all over my body and my throat won't move as it's forgotten how to breathe.
シロー。
It must be the same for Saber behind me. Her hand holds me tightly. Just as I feel an unavoidable death, Saber too feels an inconcealable desperation.
待たせたなセイバ
Yeah, this has got to be Golden Boy.
ー約束通りこうして迎えに来てやったぞ
Yeah, bro wants his bride.
あーちゃ。
Yep. There he is! The Golden Servant. The unknown heroic spirit who swept away the bone creatures and even Castor herself without any difficulty. That monster is in front of us. He's so close to us. At a distance with which we could start fighting if we wanted to face a death greater than Berserker.
どうしたセイバー。俺がわざわざ出向いてやったのだ。いつまでも黙っているのは無礼であろう。それとも俺のものになる前に少しばかり遊ぶつもりか？しようよ。
Oh my god. Archer stifles his laughter happily. His eyes aren't looking at me. He's only watching Saber. With his rude red eyes, he's looking at her as if evaluating a work of art. Saber's presence changes. She must have prepared herself. Unlike me, unable to even move a finger, she is already glaring at that enemy servant.
シロ、何としても衝撃だけは防ぎます。その隙にあなただけは離脱してください。それがどれほど困難かは分かっていますが、あのサーバント相手ではそれが精一杯なのです。
Her back asks me to forgive her. Even Saber can only manage to block his first attack. The chance of success of retreating from a guy like this is low. Saber is asking for my forgiveness for that low chance. Probably. She knows she has no way to defeat that servant. She can't do that. This is different from when we fought Berserker. For some reason, I know that making Saber fight this servant would be bad. No, I may know the reason. I felt it when I saw his noble phantasms last night. Saber will not be able to beat this man no matter what. It's not about skills as a swordsman. Before that, the prerequisites are wrong. As long as they are heroic spirits, no heroic spirit will be able to beat him.
違う。逃げるのはお前の方だ、セイバー。
シロ。
I cover Saber and face Archer.
ほう、そうか。マスターがいたのだったな。あまりのみすぼらしさゆえ、犬か何かだと思ったぞ。
Wow. He says happily. The man raises his hand and slowly brings his fingers together. I feel sick. I'll be killed if I don't retreat now. There's no reason or logic behind it. I just feel instinctively that I'll be killed if I stay in front of him and...
行け、セイバー。ここからなら境界が近い。あいつなら、あれが相手でもお前をかくまってくれるはずだ。
I push Saber away and run as if shaking off the premonition of death attacking me. There's only one thing to do. I'll run up to him, project Saber's sword like when I fought Berserker, and... Do we just die? Where's this going? My body flies. What happened? The instant that man clicked his fingers, something appeared right beside me. I could tell it was a big hammer, and that I was smashed away, flying across the ground like trash. I can't move. I feel like all the bones in my body are broken. I can't feel my limbs, my pain is numbed, and I can't even tell if I'm alive or not.
殺しはせん。今ここで貴様を潰せば、セイバーも消えてしまうからな。不本意ではあるが、聖杯を呼ぶまでは生かしておいてやろう。
Ah, that makes sense. The man laughs. I move my hands to try to get up, but my body won't move at all. My blood isn't flowing. It feels like the energy to move my body has stopped reaching my limbs.
だが思い上がるなよ雑種。貴様なぞいなくともサーバントを存命させる方法はある。単に今の状態が最も手がかからぬだけだ。それ以上さえずるのなら。
Alright, fair enough, bro. That kills my mind. He will kill me. If I move anymore, he will do so without hesitation. How could anyone move after being told that?
シロ。
Saber tries to run to me.
どこに行く？邪魔者はいなくなったのだ。お前が向かうべきそのようなクズではなかろう。
Jesus Christ, this guy. But the man won't allow that. He stands before me and waits for Saber to come to him. Saber stops and glares at the man. There's about 10 meters between them. The distant Saber would be able to close instantly, but she knows better.
その様子ではまだ俺に下る気はないようだな。理解に苦しむ。お前ほどの英霊ならば、俺に選ばれることがどれほどの価値か分かろうに。
Who the fuck are you?
よまいごとを英霊になろうと私は王だ。貴様の軍門になど下らぬ。
そうか？いかに王であろうと、お前は女だ。
Wow.
主の前に神戸を垂れ、
ああ！
女の幸せであろう。だというのに何を拒む？まさか物もわからぬ小娘でもあるまいし、俺の女になるのは恐ろしいか？
What the fuck is that line? Ew.
貴様。
Yeah, now you just pissed her off.
そう憤るな。俺は奪うだけではない。等しく喜びも与えよう。俺のものになるというのならば、文字通りこの世のすべてを与えてやる。
I mean, I don't think he's lying there, but still, like, what the fuck was that? Jesus Christ.
誇るがいい。お前にはそれだけの価値があると認めたのだ。
The man moves. He opens his arms as if to accept Saber.
そう。守護者になどなることもなく、死にゆく運命に戻ることもない。もう一度だけ言うぞ、セイバー。このまま俺のものになれ。
The screen is flickering. I
この世界で
don't know if that's on purpose or
共に
not.
二度目の生を謳歌しようではないか。
断る。そのようなことに興味はないし、何より貴様と共に生きるなどまかり間違ってもありえません。
That does sound like a fate worse than death, yes. She does not nod or retreat. Saber looks at Archer head on. He stops. I don't know what's so funny, but the man starts laughing.
いいぞ。それでこそ俺の見込んだ女よ。はあ、この世に一つ程度は俺に従わぬ者がいなければな。
There must be at least one that will not obey me. What the fuck?
よーし。では力ずくだ。聖杯を手に入れた後、その身に中身をぶちまけてやろ
う。What a freak.
喜べよ、セイバー。そうなればマスターなど不要となる。万能の器である聖杯。その力すべてを飲み干すのだからな。サーバントなどと人間の使い魔に甘んじることもなくなるだろう。
The man says so with satisfaction. To that, Saber replies,
アーチャー、貴様の目的は何だ？
I mean, he's been pretty clear about that, to be honest. She must have realized that fighting is the only way. Saber asks for her enemy's reasons at the end.
目的か？さあ、何だったか。あいにくこの世の財はすべて手に入れた身でな。
Fair enough.
望
聖杯を求めてはいないというのか？
No, he seeks you, Saber. And that would be the reason to get the Holy Grail.
聖杯？ああ、不老不死か。そんなものは蛇にくれてやった。
You gave that to the snake.
不老不死を蛇に譲った。
Saber's presence freezes. What was that conversation? Saber shakes her head and tries to deny the word.
だがこの世界は面白いぞ。
Okay.
根本は変わらぬが、装飾もここまで来れば別物だ。これならば、再びこの世で君臨するのも悪くない。そうだな。俺の目的といえばそんなところか。それを効率よく進めるというのであらば、聖杯の力も悪くはないな。
支配欲か。見下げ果てたな、アーチャー。 そんなことのために聖杯を欲するとは。
No, he doesn't need the Holy Grail to rule this world. He seeks the Holy Grail for you, Saber. Have you not been listening?
欲するのではない。世の財はすべて我の。
That's also fair.
自分のものを他人に使われるのが我慢ならんだけよ。お前とて、その政権を人に使われては腹立たしいだろう。騎士王よ。
Saber's body grows misty. After a brief flash, Saber is wearing her silver armor.
ほう
The man does not even move. In the next instant, Saber dashes forward. She runs up to the man instantly and slashes her invisible sword with deadly speed. Repelled, Saber jumps backwards. If Saber armor is materialized from her magical energy, his armor must be the same as well. In the short battle, the enemy has armed himself. Saber looks calmly at Archer, holding her sword ready. Even with her stare, the man does not stop smiling.
よいぞ。歯向かうことを許す、セイバー。
Oh, here we fucking go. The enemy happily announces the beginning of the battle. Bro, he kind of looks like a woman, to be honest, in that shot. The white light runs through the darkness. Saber, running up to the Golden Knight without hesitation, slashes her sword down, surrounded by lightning. The only way... My only thought as to how he could possibly lose here is Lancer comes out of fucking nowhere with Gaybolg. That's like my only thought here. Because, I mean, everything they've built up implies that she doesn't really have a chance. 1 blow, 2, 3, 4. Each time Saber's sword finds the enemy, blinding light is released. Combinations like a strobe. It's just like when I first saw Saber when she fought Lancer. Saber drives magical energy into her sword and strikes with it like lightning. The sword and armor clash. The man hasn't even drawn his weapon yet. With Saber's sword in front of him, he is just protecting his head with his hands. That man does not have the skill to block Saber's sword. Saber is much better than this man at sword techniques. And on top of that, Saber's sword is invisible. Even if the man had a weapon, I don't think he would be able to block that invisible sword. The invisible sword keeps hitting the man's armor. The sword smashes against the armor, shaves it, letting off lightning sparks. All the man can do is protect his head with his hands. This isn't even a match. This is just one-sided elimination. Oh, not so fast. But still, the golden armor retains its shape. The armor is free of damage even after taking Saber's attack so many times. Could it be that his noble phantasm is his golden armor? Very possible.
さすがにこれ以上はまずいか。相変わらず底なしの魔力よな。俺の鎧がきしみを上げるなど。
The enemy, who was merely defending, raises his arm. Not towards Saber. I don't know why, but the man raises his hand to the night sky, and is he gonna summon the noble phantasms?
その身、ここで俺に捧げるがいい。
Is it an illusion? In his hand? A short sword like a key is in his hand. What the fuck? Keyblade? I mean, I don't... I guess it wouldn't be a short... I guess the Keyblade isn't a short sword. But then again, I've never played Kingdom Hearts. But it's longer than a short sword, for sure. Saber attacks with all her power. But... what the fuck was that? The enemy repels it with his dark red sword. Oh.
今のは復讐の呪詛を含んだ宝具か。
Saber distances herself and glares at the sword in her enemy's hand. The fact that the enemy has revealed his weapon is a threat, but at the same time, it means that the enemy's attacks are revealed. Doesn't matter if his noble phantasm is a sword or armor. As long as you can see it, you're able to deal with it. They're probably all noble phantasms, if I had to guess. Saber readies herself. As the man said, his armor is at its limit. Saber relaunches her fierce barrage of attacks. She should be able to slash him through his armor. Even if he has brought out his noble phantasm, it won't make a difference to the fact that the next blow will decide the match.
最後だ。前回つけられなかった決着をつけよう。アーチャー。
The sword in her hand is still invisible. Readying the holy sword sealed in wind, Saber stares at her enemy. It seems Saber knows what that noble phantasm is. That's why she intentionally distanced herself, and since she knows how to deal with it, she's confronting the enemy straight on. If their noble phantasms are swords, and if the sword's abilities are equal, the deciding factor will be their own sword techniques. By that theory, Saber has to win.
よかろう。では来るがいい、セイバー。
Oh boy, here we go.
その剣に免じ、俺のすべてを見せてやる。
The man laughs.
ならば。
Saber charges without hesitation. Saber's sword will slash his armor for sure. The instant I think that,
ゲート・オブ・バビロン。
Gate of Babylon. Gate of Babylon. That doesn't actually help me that much. An invisible door opens behind the man. And that's where all the noble phantasms come from. Saber's body stops. The weapons that the enemy takes are different from the previous dark red sword. The first is an invisible sword like Saber's. As soon as Saber defends against it, the man is holding yet another sword. This sword is of ice. She twists her body to avoid it, but the space the sword goes through freezes. Saber retreats covered in ice. As the ice starts to break, the enemy holds a sickle-like weapon. She instantly tries to block the weapon, approaching her neck with her gauntlet. But it's useless. The sickle goes through her arm like the gauntlet isn't there and takes away her magical energy. Oh boy. As if cutting away her bone and not her flesh or blood. Saber totters, but manages to stay standing. It is a different kind of retreat now. Not to distance herself and prepare for the next attack. It's a desperate retreat, just to get away from the enemy.
そんなバカな。
Saber glares at the enemy, drawing magical energy into her arm. Many handles are floating around the man. That's what slaughtered Castor, and those are the noble phantasms of the Golden Knight who quartered Saber. Yep, he's got portals. It's a scene that makes even me want to doubt my own eyes. It's just infinite noble phantasms. It's all of them. Those handles floating behind him are surely those of noble phantasms. Not just 10 or 20. No, even though I can't see them, I could feel that they are infinite. From all times and places. As if to say that servant has all the divine mysteries from every legend.
アーチャー、あなたは何者だ？
Saber's voice is trembling. A servant will not answer when asked their true identity. But the enemy's noble phantasm is so strange that Saber has to ask.
答えなさい、アーチャー。英霊が持つ宝具は一つだけのはず。いえ、中には複数の宝具を持っている者もいますが、だとしても2つが限度だ。そのように際限なく宝具を持つ英霊など存在するはずがない。
存在するはずがない？それは早計だな、セイバー。
Okay.
英霊は生前持ち得た武器を宝具とする。ならば単純な話ではないか。この宝具はすべて 俺が生前に集めたものということではないか？
You collect... So... What? You were immortal and you just collected all these noble phantasms throughout history? What the fuck?
私を侮っているのか、アーチャー。それこそ絶対にありえない。あなたが何者であろうと、他の英霊たちのシンボルたる宝具を揃えられるはずがない。そのような英霊はこの世界に存在しない。
Clearly he does. Saber is right. All the noble phantasms he has are real. There are demonic swords from Northern Europe and demonic swords from South America. No hero has made his name in so many different places. And first of all, only Lancer has Gay Bolg. Heroic spirits, noble phantasms are the weapons they had when they were alive. So that's what I'm saying. These are like the real noble phantasms that this guy has. And they're like... Whereas they exist as like a package deal as servants when servants come back. But these are like the actual physical ones that they had when they were alive. If that makes sense. They're both real is what I'm saying. By that rule, as soon as he has Gay Bolg, he has to be Cuchulain, or I forget how that's supposed to be pronounced. But he isn't Cuchulain. So that lance cannot be Gay Bolg. But the thing is, that is definitely the real Gay Bolg. This could all be explained if it was a fake, but as long as it's real, this contradiction is... No. Hold on. Original. The model of weapon?
まさか。いや、けど。
It is possible. Myths and legends do not start from nothing. All myths have common points because a single foundation became their model. Is he the creator? Because legends that become objects of faith are only those that originate in that land. I think demonic swords and holy swords start having special abilities around that time. So before that, what if the noble phantasms in myths and legends had a form before they were given names?
おお、お前のマスターも捨てたものではないな。どうやら俺の正体に心当たりがあるらしい。
Oh, I have no idea. Saber looks towards me, so far away. I can't even help her if she's so far away. My body is only recovered to the point where I can barely move my fingers.
逃げろ、セイバー。そいつと、宝具は。
Time travel? No. Or
本
portal?
物だというのだろう。そう、単純な話だ、セイバー。
Does he like portal them from a time before they became noble phantasms, but because they're portaled into the future, they then are noble phantasms because they're after the point that they became noble phantasms?
最も古い時代、まだ世界が一つだった頃の話をしよ
When the world was still one. I mean, how ancient are we talking when you say
う。そ
that?
の国は栄え、王はあらゆる財宝を収集した。
Well, I mean, we're talking about, he said Gate of Babylon. That's like going way back. I mean, because that's the thing, right? Like, Gate of Babylon is kind of a weird term because, if I'm not mistaken, Babylon itself refers to the Gate of the Gods. So the Gate of Babylon essentially is the gate of the gods, which is really stupid. Could this be...
集められぬものなどなく、足りぬものなどなかった。王は完璧な宝物庫を持ち、その中にある有象無象の武器は使われることなく王と共に眠りについた。要はそれだけの話だ。王の死後、宝物庫の中身は世界に散らばり、名剣であるがゆえに重宝され活躍し、いずれ宝具として扱われた。
So he owned all of these things before they eventually became noble. That's insane.
わかるか騎士王よ。 お前たちの扱う宝具とやらはもともとはその王の持ち物に過ぎないのだと。
That's absurd. It's like inheritance. If you go back far enough, a model must exist. So it is only natural for every legend, myth, folklore, and noble phantasm to have an original model. And in the distant past, if it was possible to collect all of their models, then one could possess all of the noble phantasms. Only one hero could correspond to that. I mean, we're talking so far back that I don't even know who this could be, because I don't know what we're considering so far back. Okay. King Arthur. Okay. We don't know who Archer is. We never found out Ryder or Caster. Assassin. Okay, they're all like within the last 1,000-ish years. Heracles is Greek mythology. That's going pretty far back. So it's got to be someone who is talent to command and lead a great army. At this level is not so much strength of character, but more like a curse. So he was a great leader way back, but I don't know how far back we have to go. That's the problem. I feel like I'm gonna know the name. I feel like this is going to be someone that I know from history, but I'm just kind of stuck here because I don't know how far back we have to go. Like, what's considered far enough back? I'm just so confused here. Like, if we were just saying who's the greatest king, there's one name that's stuck in my head, right? There's one name at this point with this description that's in my head, but I don't think that's far enough back because I'd be going back to around like 300 BC, in the 300s BC. I don't think that's far enough back. But the one thing that's stuck in my head is he did die in Babylon, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll just say, I have to throw out a prediction because they're about to reveal who this fucker is. My one guess is he's great. Let's just go with that. I don't want to say his name, but 300s BC, died in Babylon. He's great. That's my prediction. One with origins in a legend far older than that of King Arthur or Heracles. That predates King Arthur. I think that predates Heracles. It definitely predates King Arthur by like over 1,000 years. One said to rule over ancient Mesopotamia. So I just had to cut there. Terrible time for a cut. This is not Alexander, because it's too far, it's not far enough back. Shit. I'm not really good at my history that goes this far back, or, you know, mythos slash history, because we're probably talking at least 2000 BC now, if not further. There's a name on the tip of my tongue. Oh, I think I know this. I don't want to keep going.
ギルガメッシュ
Yes! Gilgamesh! Oh, I couldn't think of it. I had to just go for it. She sounds as if she's holding back fear. The Golden Knight, Gilgamesh, accepts the shock with satisfaction.
いかにもこの身は貴様らでは叶うべくもない最強の英霊だ。
Oh. And the Golden Knight moves forward. There's nothing else to talk about. All that remains is for him to use his many noble phantasms to defeat his enemy.
ほう、我の名を知った上でまだ抗うか。今度こそ勝ち目がないと悟ったはずだが。
Interesting. I'm not that familiar with Gilgamesh. I know the name, of course, but I don't really know much about the myth. I know it goes back way back. I mean, obviously they kind of said that, but we're talking like over 4,000 years ago at this point.
やってみなければわかりません。
That's also fair.
いかに英雄王といえど超えられぬものがあるはずだ。
Saber's surroundings waver. Yep. The wind starts to twirl and becomes a raging gale to protect her. At the same time, the golden sword appears.
ダメだサイバ
It can't be. Saber's going to use the Excalibur? Gilgamesh stops. He too must know the Holy Sword's power as his composure vanishes. Saber keeps staring at Gilgamesh and looks in my direction for an instant. Is she telling me to run? Gilgamesh has his back to the river, and Saber is over here. It must have been when she attacked him earlier. Before I realize it, Saber is confronting Gilgamesh to protect me.
違うダメだこんなところで
I pour strength into my limbs. Even if I try to move my numb body, all I can move is one of my arms. But I still collect all the magical energy in my body to raise my body with that one arm. My senses were gone, but every bone in my body starts to scream once I start moving. The pain is a warning. The pain is telling me I will break if I move any further. I ignore it and raise my body up. I bear my pain. I don't have time to deal with it. I have to get up quickly and protect Saber. Because I have a bad feeling about this. A premonition I felt when I faced that enemy. She will never be able to beat him. The instinctive feeling that I should never let Saber fight him won't go away.
音に聞こえし聖剣か。いいだろう。
The twirling wind is now a raging storm. Even with the holy sword shining in front of him, the Golden Knight does not back away. Moreover,
では、こちらもふさわしいものを出さなければな。
oh, he pulls an incongruous sword from the gate behind him. That's the cause of my bad feeling. That sword does not appear in any legend. I could identify every one of the noble phantasms that were floating behind him, but even I cannot tell what that sword is.
俺はすべての宝具の原型を持つ。だがそれらはすべて無名であり、俺しか持ち得ぬ武具というわけではない。
Cylindrical sword. The sword is made of 3 parts, and each part is turning slowly in different directions, like a sword that was never found. It looks like a rock drill to pierce through a hard surface.
だがこれは違う。正真正銘、この英雄王しか持ち得ぬ剣だ。
Yeah, you can see that it's kind of freaking out here a little. I'm gonna save. Turn to title screen. No, it's just burned in. So I'm actually just going to get out of here and see if I can fix it by just leaving and returning.
俺は全ての宝具の原型を持つ。だがそれらは全て無名であり、俺しか持ち得ぬ武具というわけではない。
So I seem to have been able to fix the screen issue here. A cylindrical sword. The sword is made of 3 parts, and each part is turning slowly in different directions. No, I just clicked that, and it's the same spot. I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it again. It looks like a rock drill to pierce through a hard surface. Yeah, it's the same thing.
正真正銘。この英雄王しか持ち得ぬ剣だ。
Yeah, it happened at the same spot, so I'm just gonna deal with it for now. I'll try to get maybe a better version of the game when we do the other 2 routes. I'll have to figure it out, because I'll have to get all the same decisions. There's so much that'll actually have to go into that, but we'll see. For now, we're just gonna deal with it. This is different. This sword is truly a sword that only the King of Heroes possesses.
名などないのでな。俺はエアとだけ呼んでいる。
ええ。
純粋に宝具の力比べをすると。
The light concentrates. There's only about 10 meters between them. Within that distance, Gilgamesh shouldn't even be able to dodge her attack.
そうだ。なに、遠慮することはないぞ。最強と呼ばれるその剣。一度味わってみたくもあったからな。
Holy shit. His laughter echoes through the park. She must consider that provocation.
いいだろう。ならば我が剣、見事受け切ってみるがいい。
Saber's sword moves. Her lips move to say its true name. There's nowhere to run now. The noble phantasm released with its true name will smash all of its power onto Gilgamesh.
出番だ。起きるがいい。エア。
Yeah. The cylindrical sword, A, roars. And in response to Gilgamesh's words, the 3 blades turn with a whirring sound. If Saber's Excalibur brings on a whirlwind by releasing the wind, Gilgamesh's A creates a storm by swallowing the surrounding winds. Saber is more experienced with anti-castle noble phantasms. It is faster than A's roar. Saber pours magical energy into the sword up to its limit in a matter of seconds and executes it with the greatest power. There it is. Here we go. There's no hesitation. Literally, my screen is even shaking. Saber releases the holy sword that can even split a river in 2. Just before that,
Enuma Elish.
Enema Elish. A light of the same magnitude takes on Excalibur's light. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ! Oh my god! A huge impact. Okay, I think my screen is probably fixed. It's literally shaking for real, I mean now, because that's part of the effect, but the raging wind knocks over trees and the crashing lights become an explosion surrounding my eyes. An exploding sun burning my eyes, sorry. My body is almost blown away by the wind. I managed to dig myself into the ground with one hand and endure the waves of light and heat. How long will the conflict last? The battle of the 2 rumblings that make me fear the earth is going to split into 2 is... suddenly ended with her figure surrounded by a white light. Jesus Christ! Yeah, I think this might be the park part 2. Jesus fucking hell. A crash. I hear something falling right beside me. What is it? I can tell even with my blinded eyes. Jesus Christ! I thought she might be dead. Holy fuck, that's a cool but also horrifying shot. That's how torn up Saber is. In the distance, the Golden Knight is laughing crazily, unscathed.
人類最強の聖剣とやらもその程度か。人間の幻想など所詮子供魂よな。
His laugh is high-pitched, and it seems like it will carry over the burning air into the heavens. Is it that much fun? He doesn't even look at Saber as he laughs only for his own sake.
Saber!
Yeah, I assume it's his noble phantasm. Oh yeah, Gilgamesh, his name. Gate of Babylon, King's Treasure, rank E-A++, because it's all different ones. Star of Creation that split heaven and earth, Enuma Elish. Cutting of space by the sword of separation, A layer of wind compressed and accelerated becomes a fake layer of time and space that smashes all who opposes it. Its attack power is so strong that an elimination rank AC or a counterattack with an equivalent damage level is needed to defend against this noble phantasm. Damage is strength times 20, though MGI may be added to strength at random. Magic? I forget what MGI is. Its maximum damage is 4,000, but with the support of the noble phantasms in its treasury, the damage increases even further. It has equal or superior output to Saber's Excalibur and is a sword that cut apart the world. Ah, yes, the world was one before that, right? The Star of Creation that split heaven and earth, sure. Jesus Christ. Divinity B A+. The fuck does that mean? He has the capacity for greatness, but since Gilgamesh himself dislikes the gods, the rank is reduced. Ha, that's great. Half god, half human king that ruled the Sumerian city of Uruk in the years before Christ. Way before Christ. Not merely a legend, he is said to have actually existed. He was the king of heroes whose tale is recorded in mankind's oldest epic poem, the Epic of Gilgamesh. So divine as to be 2/3 god and 1/3 human, no others in the world could match him. He was an ultimate, transcendent being that possessed all things in this world. He was originally a tyrant who did not care about his people, but his behavior slowly changed after he gained a friend called Enkidu. I don't really know any of this. I'm not very familiar with Gilgamesh. I know the name, but I don't know the story. Enkidu was created by the goddess Aruru in response to the prayers of the people who suffered under Gilgamesh's oppression. Enkidu and Gilgamesh met as was fated, and they strongly affected each other. At first, Gilgamesh feared Enkidu as his enemy, but the two came to understand each other soon after, recognized each other as equals, and worked together to rule the country. With Enkidu, Gilgamesh defeated the Humbaba, guardian of the forest, beast of the gods, and became the greatest and richest king on earth. After this, Gilgamesh was so powerful that even the gods could not ignore his existence. One goddess fell in love with this Gilgamesh. Ishtar, the goddess of fertility, proposed marriage to Gilgamesh, the perfect king, but he rejected her immediately. This was because he knew her to be a witch, unfaithful, cruel, and the corrupter of all men. Ishtar became furious, feeling that Gilgamesh had insulted her. To get revenge, she went to her father, the god Anu, and persuaded him to unleash the bull of heaven. Because of this unopposable beast of the gods, 7 years of starvation and destruction hit the earth. Gilgamesh and Enkidu cooperated and faced the bull of heaven, and successfully defeated it. The goddess's reputation was once again crushed. Ishtar's fury, of course, did not abate, and she asked the gods of death to give death to one of the men, as it was a sin for a human to kill the beast of the gods. Ishtar's wish was granted, and since he was created by the gods, Enkidu could not resist the command and slowly weakened to death. This began Gilgamesh's downfall. Gilgamesh was shocked by the fact that death could come even to a friend of power equal to his. He was tormented by the fear of this death, and he finally traveled to the netherworld in search of immortality. At the end of a long journey and many hardships, Gilgamesh obtained the miraculous elixir of immortality. While on his way back, the elixir was stolen by a snake while he was bathing, and Gilgamesh died of grief. It is said that the snake began its life again in a new body after shedding its skin because it stole Gilgamesh's medicine and drank it. So that's the story, but as we know in this canon, he just gave it to a snake. Interesting. Really, really interesting stuff there. I'm not super familiar with Gilgamesh, so that was actually really interesting to read. There's no reply, but blood gushes out from her mouth as she tries to gasp. My vision turns red. What was I doing? I knew this was going to happen. I knew Saber wouldn't be able to beat Gilgamesh, so why didn't I stop her or even use my command spell?
しかし味気ない。完全にこちらの圧勝か。相殺することもできぬとは拍子抜けだぞセイバー。ああそう。
Wow.
少しは手加減してやるべきだった。何しろ相手は女子供だったのだ。
Jesus Christ. His irritating laugh. The responsibility is mine. I thought she could win. No matter how bad it felt, I thought Saber's Excalibur would be able to beat him. That's why even though I told her to stop, my command spell didn't react. I wasn't serious. If I really wanted to protect Saber, I could have made her run away using my command spell, and there would have been infinite ways for me to fight by myself.
さて、ではいただくとするか。
No.
汚れてしまった。
No.
何？いずれ同じ目に遭うのだ。
No.
ここで傷つこう
No,
と
no,
問
no, no,
題はあ
no,
る
no,
まい
no,
よ。
no, 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 no. The laughter approaches. There's no way this is actually happening. She must have noticed that as Saber faintly opens her eyes.
セイバー、無事か。
I can see her breathing, but I can't touch her even if I reach out. My body still won't move, and I can't even run to her. So I can only call out to her.
セイバー、セイバー、セイバー。
What the fuck? Saber's mouth opens. She breathes in as if asking for help and coughs as if even that is painful. Oh, yo, that's sick.
そこにいるのですか。
I'm assuming that's how it's supposed to be visually. That's really trippy, though. She raises a faint voice telling me she cannot see me.
待ってろ。すぐ。
I can't say I'll help her. I'm on the ground too, and I can only move my arms. I can only call out to her and encourage her. She can't even see me in this ugly state. Okay, yeah, that was.
そうか。負けたのですね。
So,
私は。
it would seem so. She speaks in a soft voice and looks at me with no light in her eyes.
申し訳ありません。どうかあなただけでも逃げてください、マスター。
Brutal. She says something absurd while coughing up blood. My vision turns red with anger. I completely depended on Saber unconsciously, and this is the result? I can't even stand up after a sudden attack. I grab my head with the only arm that moves. I want to kill myself, so I put strength into my hand as if to squash my head. A firing hammer goes down. I take the switch to turn myself into a magus and smash it on with a hammer instead of my finger.
二度と使わないようにね。投影はあんたの手に余るから。
Osaka's words. She says magic beyond one's level will destroy the caster's circuits and nerves. So what? She's more important than that. If I can't protect her, I don't need my body. She has helped me many times. There never has been anyone I cared so much about. So, if I can't protect her, Emi Yashiro can just die here. I can hear sounds of metal. Metallic, magical energy reinforces all the bones in my body and all the broken parts of my body. What the fuck? I'll give it everything I have. I'll put it in the highest gear and the highest rotation from the start, and ignoring my limits, I'll create as much magical energy as possible. My spine catches fire and my whole body grows red hot. I bite my tongue to bear the feeling of my brain melting. I bite down on the pink flesh, If I can keep my consciousness just by making a hole in my tongue, there's no problem.
何
The footsteps stop. His laughter stops as well.
シロ何をしているのです。ダメだ。そんなことをしたら体が。
She must feel it even though she can't see. Saber screams, trying to get back up. That makes my last powers turn on. I stand back up. The body that wouldn't obey me starts to move because of the magical energy poured in past its limits. This is like setting my body on fire to make it run towards water. But I don't care. It's better than watching Saber get hurt. Holy shit. That double shot of the different moments. That's right. I finally realized, with a mind that's about to burn away, from the beginning, I swore to hold the sword because I didn't want to see her hurt.
逃げてと言っているのに、どうして。
I have struck the enemy. Saber is behind me. Now, I cannot even take one step backwards.
ドレス
I hold down my brain, which is rolling around on fire, and manage my mind. I am imagining only one thing. I'll divide the projection into 8 sections to create the lost sword. Yep. I feel something hard in my left hand. I don't even need to look to check. The second manufacture of the sword proved successful without slowing down even once.
私の剣。いえ、それでもダメだ。シロも分かっているはずです。それでは彼には勝てないと。動けるのなら、今は逃げるのだ。
逃げない。セイバーを迎えに来たんだ。
Yep, he did come to pick you up and
一
take
人
you
で帰る
home.
ことなんてできるもんか。
I ready my sword. I hold the sword heavier than a shinai and glare at the enemy.
やめてシロ。この男はそんな。
I shake off Saber's words and step forward. There are 4 meters between us. The fuck is this music? If I step forward with all my might, I might be able to attack him. Oh, okay, it's this theme. We have heard this. The enemy doesn't move. Gilgamesh watches me for a second, then laughs.
殺すか
He says in an emotionless voice. I instantly block the attack swung at me. I sway my body to the side to avoid the attack. But I'm not fast enough. The first attack was a sudden gust. The next barrage of attacks is a raging wind. Parrying is all I can do. No, I wouldn't even have been able to block the first attack by myself. It is fortunate that I also reproduced its memory when I reproduced the sword. A sword with a long past holds will and experience. This sword must already be familiar with such attacks. I can't judge Gilgamesh's attacks, but this sword is able to. So the sword reacts to his attacks before my hands do. I swing to follow the sword, and as a result, I can block his attacks. But that doesn't last long. My fingers numb every time I swing, and slowly I cannot catch up with the sword.
雑種見苦しいにも程がある
He must dislike even the slight resistance. He glares at me in anger and retreats a bit. Thank God. If he had kept attacking me, I would not have lasted more than a few seconds. I take a deep breath and try to control my breathing. And then...
薄汚い見せ物めそれほどそれが気に入ったのならば
No way, he's gonna
本
pull it
物を
out.
見せてやろう
Oh my God, he's gonna pull out Caliburn. He takes out his sword. Yo. That is a familiar sword. Yeah, it doesn't have all the decoration, but it's the same sword. The ornamentation on it is different. But its true nature, the idea of its creation and its soul are too close to those of this sword.
まさかこの剣の原型
Yep.
そうだ。だが宝具としての精度は比べるまでもないぞ。お前が持つ王を選定する岩に刺さった剣は北欧に伝わる支配を与える木に刺さった剣が流れたものだが、これはその原型。王を選定するという政権の大元だ。
The foundation of the sacred right to select the king. The sword of supremacy in the tree, Gram, the demonic sword of Sigmund, hero of Northern Europe, its original model.
子は親には勝てん。天輪を続けるごとに劣化する複製は原型にはかなわぬということだ。
Light runs. The sword understands better than anything that this is the same attack that terminated Berserker in one slash. It must be protecting its owner. The sword in my hand goes for the enemy's sword with its utmost power. The name of the noble phantasm is Caliburn, the golden sword of assured victory, but it is destroyed without a trace by the sword called Marduk, the original sin. I hear something sliding on the ground. Sliding. Is the ground of the park slippery because it's level? I slide across the ground and finally come to a stop.
シロシロシロ
That voice makes me realize I'm still alive.
なんだセイバー割と近くに
That's just a funny way to put it. Thinking so, I'm relieved. It felt like I was blown away, but it's fine if Saber's nearby. So all I have to do is get up and I can run to Saber. I look at my arm while I stay on the ground. It's red. My arm is surrounded by a red membrane and there's no blood coming out of it.
動くなもういいから動かないでくれシロ
I can hear Saber's voice. It seems my body has been injured. That attack. I'm sure I was blown away by Gilgamesh's sword. So the wound must be... Oh, I see. Now I understand why Saber is acting like that. I can only move my right hand. My left hand won't move. First of all, my left shoulder isn't attached to my body. Jesus Christ. I can't even breathe. Diagonally down from my left shoulder, as my body is cut from the shoulder down, it's separated like Lego pieces that don't fit together. Looks like a ginkgo leaf. I've been cut from my shoulder down to my waist. Yikes. It's strange that I'm alive. That miracle should soon run out. I'm barely conscious right now, and my vision narrows by the second. First of all, my insides will fall out if I move. Maybe I'm already dead and my mind is lingering like a ghost.
なんだ見事に散らばったと思ったが存外にしぶといのだな。なるほど。生き汚さだけが雑種の取り柄というわけか。
He laughs. Honestly, I'm thankful. The more irritating he is, the more my mind stays conscious. Lol.
だがそこまでだ。貴様に獅子は似合わん。その女は俺がもらう。
Unfortunately, he means that in multiple senses. Footsteps. The sound of him walking to obtain Saber for sure this time. No way. What the fuck? After all that, we get a choice here? I don't think there's a choice. I put power into my right hand. I grab the ground and raise my half-sliced body. I see Saber's face for an instant. She looks like she's about to cry. I'm proud of myself for falling in love with her.
待てまだ終わっていない
I raise my body with just one arm. I mean, we can't say don't stand up. That's a bad ending. I don't even think I want to watch. My legs won't move. The magical energy that forced my body to move has depleted. The only thing remaining is my beating heart and my organs screaming in pain.
ほう、未練か。だろうな。あれはお前には過ぎた宝だ。その気持ちはわからんでもない。ならばこそ他の男の手に奪われるのは悔しかろう。
Damn, savage. That does it. I can't stand his talking anymore.
だから奪うとか奪われるとかセイバーを物みたいに。
He's right. I put power into my right arm. Is there metal in it? With a creaking noise, my body reacts to my wishes. I get up on one knee.
いうこと。
I put power into my body. As I do so, the things I need to live flow out.
なぜもう無理だとどうしてわからないのです。
It doesn't matter at this point. Saber's voice is almost insulting. She's a long way away. From a distant place, she is watching me in vexation. I ignore it and keep trying. Saber's voice is just a burden. Not my body nor Gilgamesh, but Saber is my greatest enemy now. Because if she objects with an expression like that, my mind will die. Finally. My knee finally has strength, so all that's left is to stand.
いらない。あなたの助けなどいりません。敗北した以上、私はすでにあなたの剣ではないんです。
You were always so much more than his sword to him, Saber.
このまま消えるのがサーバントとして当然の結末ではないですか。
Saber's voice. Damn. If she interrupts me anymore, I'll get mad even at her.
やだ、やめてください、シロ。それ以上はダメだ。本当に死んでしまう。
You'll regret it.
こんなことであなたに死なれたら私は。
How can she say such selfish things without knowing how I feel?
うるさい。いいから少しは黙ってろ。こういう時くらい頼っていいんだよ。お前は。
This is awesome. There's a part of me that there's a small part of me that's like, this is the end of the route, isn't it? There's a small part of me that thinks this is really gonna be the end of the route. I can't. That would blow my mind. The fact that we got a choice makes me think otherwise, but this is fantastic.
それは違う、シロ。優先順位を間違えないでほしい。
Aww.
私の身などどうでもいい。
There it is
そんなも
again.
のより、あなたは自身の命を第一にするべきだ。
She sounds like she's begging. She kind of is. My mind almost collapses thinking I'm making her sound like that. But still.
断れ。俺にはセイバー以上に欲しいものなんてない。
And now he truly admits how he's always felt. I can't accept her words. He never framed it like that. Saber looks at me in astonishment. I don't know why she looks like that, but I remember. She told me I was a fool who didn't know the value of his own life. I think she's right. It's too conceited for someone who can't even think about himself to try to help someone else. That's just complacent happiness, and it's an unstable happiness for the other party. The most important person is yourself. That kind of person probably can become happy and share their happiness, yes. But...
俺は確かに自分の命を感情に入れてない。
But in this moment, you don't care. I was wrong about what's most important for me. Since that day, that seat has been empty. But I'm grateful for that abnormality, because in that empty seat is sitting a person I want to save from the bottom of my heart. That's sweet.
けどな、セイバー。もし俺が自分の命が一番大事だったとしても。
Because even if I wasn't broken, I'd still love you more than anything, is what he's essentially saying.
きっとそれ以上にセイバーは綺麗なんだ。お前に代わるものなんて 俺の中には一つもない。
That makes me realize I didn't feel sympathy for her. The girl I saw in my dream, she fought alone and died alone. I thought she was unrewarded, but at the same time, I was charmed by her. I just thought she was beautiful. She pulled out the sword and ran through her life without looking back. Her life itself was so brilliant.
そうだ。だから。
So, I have to protect her. I just don't know. The way this story has been written, I don't really necessarily see the miracle coming here. There is a weird part of me that thinks this is gonna be the end of the fucking route. The only thing is, it's Moonlight 1. Unless Moonlight 2 is in a whole different route, I don't... It can't be. So that you, all alone, won't be engulfed in darkness in your last moments. That's right. So that in your last moments, on the verge of death, of your death, so that you can be proud of your life. My doubts disappear. My path is so clear.
ごめんな。俺、セイバーが一番好きだ。だから、あんな奴にお前は渡さない。
He's gonna have to kill me first. At the very least. After I say that, I regret apologizing to her. But I had to say it. I wanted to say it now at this moment because there would be no impurities mixed in my words. I hear her gasp. I wanted to turn around and see, but I won't since I can't really see anymore. I get up. I can still fight if my heart is beating. My magical energy is my life. As long as my heart is beating, I'll keep on recreating her sword.
よく立った。
He's impressed.
その後は何があるのだ?
But now it's like the reality of the situation. What can you actually do, bro? I feel a burning heat on my right hand. Perhaps because I'm close to death, I remember 10 years ago. It's a terrible illusion. My body feels like it's still in that fire, reaching out for life.
うせろ。お前にセイバーは任せられない。
I raise my right hand and say that.
たわけ。誰が貴様の許しを得るか?
Yeah, this guy's not really the consenting type. The enemy raises his sword.
シロシロ
I hear Saber's voice from behind me. I ignore it, and using my remaining magical energy, I project the sword once more. And I'm stopped by that light. Even though it's not as strong as Excalibur, the light that can burn away everything it touches is coming for me. Feeling the heat on my body, I don't think about my death, but about Saber behind me. She'll be dragged in like this, so I have to at least protect her. I said I'd protect Saber. Yes, I wanted to protect her. She's strong, but at the same time she could have broken down at any moment, so I have to hold steady. She's like a drawn sword, so I have to help her so she doesn't get hurt. What the fuck was that? And then, before I realize it, there's something like a sword in my right hand. Did he just... I've been thinking about this possibility. I mean, it looked very Saber-ish, but was that the sheath?
No.
The ultimate shield! No way! Whose voice was that? The hesitation is only for an instant. At the same moment, the Golden Knight, the absolute victor, retreats.
シロそれを
Saber takes my hand. It was the sheath! No way. The rising light stops. Right beside me is Saber. Right before me is Gilgamesh, opening his eyes and bleeding. It deflected it right back at him. I don't know what happened. It's Excalibur's sheath. Or Caliber, whatever. It's the sheath. You guys know what I'm talking about. This came up before. But I know this is a repeat of the battle against Berserker. Saber used something I made and defeated Gilgamesh's sword. A light pushed back his light and must have injured him, who was unscathed up to now. That looks really cool. A frighteningly murderous intent. It feels like he needs to kill everything he sees in order to calm down. But the Golden Knight leaves silently. I don't even have time to be surprised. I don't know why he left. But even my fading mind knows that the battle is over. My knees give away. All tension disappears and my body falls to the ground.
Shiro!
Saber instantly supports me. With Saber supporting me, I look down at my body. Yeah, it's an absolute mess. I let out a gasp. My wounds are so bad they cannot be treated. My body, cut from my left shoulder, should have died instantly. I must be barely alive because of that healing power, but it must have its limits. My body is almost split in two. I'm sure nothing will be able to fix my body now. I can't even tell if I'm still breathing or not, and my consciousness is starting to fade. The end is near. But the fortunate thing is about Saber. I have a fatal wound, but it seems Saber is just fatigued. She is unarmed now and her wounds are completely healed. So even if I retire now, Tosaka should be able to do something. Dude, that would be insane if it really is Tosaka and Saber at the end of this. That would be just... I would lose my mind if that happened. That sound again. A sound as if my bones are creaking is coming from my body. I look down at my wound. The wound, it's the sheath, right? What the fuck? There are many swords. What look like the blades of swords are layered on top of each other and crowding together to connect my separated body, making that sound. What the fuck? I feel dizzy. It feels like every bone in my body, every muscle in my body is made out of swords. What the fuck? There's no such thing. It must have been my imagination, as my body is just fine. As proof of that, my separated body is starting to connect. My cuts are healing quickly. It's more like restoration than healing. This is more creepy than strange. It seems I'll be saved. But this is too...
よかった。この分なら死ぬことはなさそうですね、マスター。
What the fuck? I hear Saber's voice by my ear. I was just assuming, but the sheath is more like a shield than a... What the fuck is your healing ability? What the hell is happening? It's getting, like, crazier as we go. It's really close by.
いや、それは助かるけど。俺の体、一体。
Trying to finish, I'm assailed by dizziness. Then, my body is enclosed by soft arms. Aww. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of blood. Good lord. That is just something else.
いいえ、私には分かりました。傷が癒されるのは当然です。
I can't stay conscious. It's because I produce too much magical energy. My tired mind wants to sleep right now. Yeah, why is it only natural? What's your conclusion? How strong is she? Saber wraps her arms around me and holds me tight.
やっと気づいた。シローは私の鞘だったのですね。
What the fuck? He has no memory past 10 years ago, right? Kiritsugu, right? What the fuck? What the fuck? What? I go back to what I say. Was he a creation of the Holy Grail? There's so many what? Because I know she might be... It's possible she means this in a different sense. She means this... That's why he cares about protecting her above all else. That makes sense. The fascination with swords. Oh my... There's a lot here. What the hell? I think she means this literally. And of course, that's why... What the fuck? She says so in a deep, seeping voice. The feeling is so comfortable that my remaining consciousness fades away. I'm glad to be saved, and I let my body sleep. But before that, I complained to myself that it would have been more perfect if our positions were reversed. Ease her sheath. At the end, I see that red hill once more. Those are your dreams, aren't they? A red memory. I dive deeper into her memory and I realize this is the last time. These are the memories of a night which I've seen many times before. After becoming king and becoming the will of the country by killing her own will, her days were filled with neglect even from her trusted knights. Every time she won a battle, Arturia was made to wish for a battle she did not wish for. She continued to hide her sex, surrounded by suspicion. What awaited this isolated girl was a rebellion by one of her relatives. A young knight took over the country while the king was on an expedition. The man's name was Mordred. That knight was the son of Morgan, the sister of the king of knights, was actually the son of the king of knights. That knight who was son of Morgan the sister of the king of knights was actually the son of the king of knights. So we're saying Mordred was Arturia's son? To start at the end, Arturia could not have children as a woman, but Mordred certainly inherited the blood of Arturia. Arturia's older sister, Morgan, I am not sure how far she went, but she despised Arturia for becoming king, even though Arturia was younger than her. Mordred was created as her other self. He served the king as a knight with an unknown father, waited for his chance to take over the throne, and finally organized a revolt. Huh, interesting. This was the battle later known as the Battle of Camlan, the end of King Arthur. King Arthur discovered Mordred's betrayal on her expedition and returned to her homeland when her tired troops to invade her own territory. She slashed away knights that used to serve her. She attacked the land she once protected. The few knights that stayed with her died off, and the only ones standing in the end were her and Mordred. Their personal combat ended with the king's victory, but she did not emerge unscathed. Mordred was bound by a strong curse, so he still swung his sword even after his death and left a fatal wound on the king. That is the end of this battle. The last of her, the one called the King of Knights. It must have been painful. Come to think of it, none of her battles were painless. Every one of her 12 battles was severe, and this just happened to be the greatest wound appropriate for her end. She returned to Britain and destroyed her own army. She punished the knights who used to serve her, and the knights following her all died. And in the end, she had to kill her own son, even if he was son only in name. That makes sense. I cannot tell what went through her mind. I had I kind of mixed up. It was like reversed of how I thought of it. But I have to wish the lone king who tried to be a king until her last moments. I wish that her last dream might be a normal dream. One that the girl called Arturia might wish for. Wow. And that's going to be the end of the episode. Oh no, we're still going. I opened my eyes. I don't know when I got back, but I'm in my room lying on my futon.
ああ、気がついたのですね、シロ。
セイバー、俺はどうして？
あれから今まで眠っていたのです。体の方はほぼ完治していますから、心配には及びません。
そうか。それはいいけど。
Yeah, it's pretty. There's a lot of weird things to unpack. I don't know how literal she was about you being her sheath. I'm kind of concerned that that was very literal, but I really don't know. What about Saber? My wound is healed. I'm fine. But Saber's different. Even though she can heal her wounds, her magical energy isn't infinite. Okay, I'm actually going to cut off here because even though I could go a little further, I'm going to end it off here because this whole thing has just been crazy. And even though, oh, I skipped a save point at some point. That's fine. I'm just going to leave it off here. I know we're in the middle of a thing and we're very close to the end here, but I feel like this is the right place to stop. And I've had some hassles with this episode anyways that I'll need to work out. And yeah, this was nuts. I mean, what an episode. We had a battle with, I don't know. This just feels like a place where I want to cut it off. So I'm kind of at a loss. We'll talk more about what happened in this episode next time. I think I'm just gonna call it here because this was just an absolute nonsense. This one got me a bit, and I think I just need to stop. So I'm just gonna stop here. I apologize for the awkward stopping point, but we'll talk more about my thoughts on this episode next time. But this was just a crazy episode in somewhat similar and different ways than last time. But man, it was wild nonetheless. So anyways, I'll just call it here and we'll talk about it next time.